negotiations, but is a machine really capable of assessing, let alone
Good afternoon,
de-escalating
everyone.
complex human
Welcome to the show.
situations?
Let's start off
Skills
with
TV
robot
was able to give
dogs.
us a glimpse into New York's new
Wouldn't
future.
take much of a change to
look.
put a AK-47 or some type of a assault rifle on there, right? Look at that thing. Ooh, they've really streamlined them. Look at the armor they put on them. I can see those becoming much more armored in the future.
It was reported the city would have to spend $750,000 on 2 robot dogs.
Yeah, I don't want to be
The introduction of the technology has received fierce opposition from privacy advocates who've called out the dangers of the NYPD using robot dogs, while the department has assured residents that neither the robotic dog nor the K5 autonomous security robot will use facial recognition technology. Critics argue that this will mark the first step towards a pervasive policing that invades citizens' privacy.
Just going to go through some
Albert
videos
Fox Khan, the executive director of the Surveillance Technology Oversight Project, says that wasting public dollars to invade New Yorkers' privacy is a dangerous police stunt. Fox's statement highlights how robotic police force may pose a threat to freedom and privacy, especially if the already powerful machines are allowed any more advanced artificial intelligence capabilities in the future. Legal Aid Society officials, they criticize the new technology announced by the city officials, calling it new dystopian technologies to surveil New Yorkers. Despite all that, here's what New York Mayor Adams sternly had to say about the move. Watch.
You know, I've stated this from day one, even when I was on the campaign trail. I'm a computer geek, and I believe that technology is here. We cannot be afraid of it. And as the commissioner stated, transparency is the key. And the 2 pilots that we are rolling out today to see how they fit in our public safety environment is matched with the DigiDog, a robotic dog that could be used to save lives. It was something that was introduced previously under the previous administration. And a few loud
just a DigiDog.
People
Don't worry
were
about
opposed to it, and we took a step back. That is not how I operate on looking at what's best for the city. And the 3 we are mentioning today is only the beginning. We are looking at the new forms of public safety. I have put Deputy Mayor Beck and our entire Matt Frazier, my chief technology officer. We are scanning the globe on finding technology that will ensure this city is safe.
Hey, Elderberry, how you doing?
New Yorkers, visitors, and whomever is here in this city.
That's just horrible. That's horrifying.
According to the NYPD, violent crime declined during the first 3 months of the year, and now the city has the highest violent crime rate in New York, with 49,000 violent crimes per 100,000 people.
Well, even if you use robot dogs.
As NYPD introduces its new
those things are going to only be able to go so far, so fast.
Police,
you're going to know where they are.
New Yorkers need to ask themselves,
probably
where
on
will this lead?
Routes, so you can
will the increased use of technology and law enforcement turn America into an airless and intrusive society with robots running amok?
So that's totally ridiculous and horrifying.
Automated and autonomous policing should not.
Let's touch on a little bit of the hoax again.
The climate right now is no warmer times throughout history. Our baseline is now the lowest that carbon dioxide has been in 600 million years. As far as temperature change, the IPCC's first report of 1992 showed that the medieval warm period was warmer than the present. Well, this didn't fit the narrative. So by the time the 1996 report came out, it was a completely contrived graph called the hockey stick. So what they did was they got rid of the medieval warm period and the Little Ice Age. And so instead of the graph doing this, they flattened it out, and then they added instrumental record on the end that looks like it's going way up. The point is that the people that are calling them out on it are not getting the media coverage. You know, because look, at this point,
they get censored like us, right?
Going into the
How many of you got notifications last night? I know most of you guys did, but many people don't. It's a crime. Yeah, climate change crisis is being used now in Canada. We're having 15-minute cities imposed. I think it's out west. I heard it was out west. I heard it might be in Toronto. Again, that's really being censored. So there's not a lot of clear information on that.
We must overcome the previous stage of isolation from other states. The country cannot be isolated from others. Brazil has the size to be a partner with big economic blocs and other countries in bilateral agreements. So it makes no sense to choose to be closer to one country in order to be further from another.
China is Brazil's biggest commercial partner in terms of the direct flow and investment. Our relationship speaks for itself. And today, in a symbolic and political point of view, the state visit speaks for itself as well.
The de-dollarization is also high on its agenda. It's one of the hottest issues discussed. It's very much in the interest of people in both China and Brazil, and maybe in the future for more BRICS countries. We know that China's largest commercial bank, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, has processed its first cross-border UN settlement in Brazil as local branch. And it marks one of the most significant steps in the globalization and also in the dollarization in the BRICS country. And the move is expected to boost the regional economic and trade recovery in the post-pandemic, and perhaps will help companies in both countries to find more reliable alternative to US dollars as they seek safer cooperation for trade investment deals and reduce the risks of the volatile US dollar. President Xi spoke highly of the bilateral relationship between China and Brazil during the talk, saying that China sees
it was a bunch of
in its diplomatic agenda. Forming stronger ties between the two countries, economically, politically, and culturally.
It's just becoming common knowledge that it's
very much confident about.
We've watched for 50 years as the climate apparently got worse and worse.
China-Brazil relationship
although they keep manipulating
that continues to enjoy sound and steady growth. Which is bound to play a very important role, a very positive role for peace, stability, and prosperity in the region for both and beyond.
Hi, Nina. How you doing? Yeah, so the BRICS, climate's kind of a hoax, but the BRICS is apparently, I'm watching it, it's becoming another scam, it seems. Just another digital dollar, same like our CBDCs. So there's nothing really beneficial about this BRICS. They're pulling you into the same system, just with another program. It's probably all by Palantir anyway. Excuse me. Hey, Scotty boy, good to see you. Make a lot of lonely nights for them way back. Oh, what are you talking about there, Scotty? Poor cows? Oh, no. What's going on? I like that. What's going on? Yeah, I'm beginning to think that too. And I love the crisscross clouds. They're, you can play tic-tac-toe in the sky up here, right? So it's kind of fun, Makes it all fun, So what else have we got here? I don't know. Climate change. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about climate change. I know I'm not allowed to talk about the jab. So that's, unless I say good things about it, which of course everyone knows that you should get your inoculation, whatever is coming up, and because the government says it's good, right? That's what the story is. Here we have the climate activists rallying outside the IMF and World Bank. So who paid them? Or are they really, do these people really still believe this? Oh. Give me a second, guys.
So there are. I start with Patrick Young. He is from the DC groups. Of coal, oil, and gas. Thank you so much. Ordered it in London. It would make this in PowerPoint. Partner. The Glasgow Action Team spends a lot of time. We have heavy loans. We want justice. And justice is this, that you are announcing justice and support us and take you.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a call. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Stop fossil fuels. Shut the coons. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know if those guys are paid or not. I had to take a call there, Nina. We're playing hide and seek. Yeah, exactly. I get 12 eggs every 2 days, Scotty boy. I have a broader. What? I have a broder, though. Okay, what's a broder? Letting her hatch her babies. Oh, okay. Type of chicken. Brooder. Okay. Max took out his mic again. No, I had to take a call there. A breeder. Yeah, gotcha. Breeder, brooder. This is the tool, the new tool. They were using COVID before. Climate is the new tool they're using. So this is our next real, well, we have many battles, but this is one of them. The WEF, Klaus Schwab and them have been exposed and are getting quite unpopular, which is interesting. I like watching that. But this climate thing, there are people that still believe this climate narrative that we're seeing, right? corporate media help FBI hunt Pentagon leaker. Yeah, these. Oh my God. I hate hearing that word. They're using language now against us. I know. How you doing? Right, Chloe? But this is one of the big battles we'll have, is this climate narrative, because it's being used on us. We're having these climate lockdowns right now in Canada. So they're trying their 15-minute city, and I haven't heard much of an uproar about it. So it's pushing forward, unfortunately. WEF, Klaus or Schwab's. Well, there's many people that have plans to use this. They've already made millions off, billions, trillions off of it. So they pollute the planet with products that cause estrogen mimickers to form in us, right? Then what you do is you rake in all the money for the profits while polluting, and then you claim that the people you sold the products to are the ones polluting. It's a good system, you know. It takes all the onus off you, puts it on everybody who gave you their money, and and all their children in perpetuity. Now Trudeau has just raised our carbon tax again. People are getting pretty upset about that. Not upset enough, though, surprisingly. Yeah, as they fly around in all their private jets. Yeah, exactly. Well, I've heard reports they, like, collectively, the 1% pollute 70 times as much as the rest of the planet, like everybody else. So there's no benefit to what they do. Like, they pollute way more. They're flying all over the place constantly. Greetings, Squirrel Sniper. Stupid useless eaters, right, Scotty boy? Well, the stupid useless eaters are living off the land, much of them in harmony with nature, whereas these climate gurus fly around in jets. Yeah, learn to walk on your hands, right? Building new prefectures for the rulers of the planet. No, money doesn't mean anything to them at this point. It's just a tool to scam and buy up assets. Most of the properties in my area have been bought up by large holding companies like BlackRock or subsidiaries of them in the foretold rental period of our existence, where everything will be rental. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. You know, it's kind of a hoax there, you know. It ain't going to happen that way. Well, here we have the Russian fleet kicking off. Woohoo! Climate one is going to be a big battle for us. They've really pushed that narrative. Let me go through this one again. Ron Paul dropping bombs. Oh, he's good. I don't know about you guys, but I do like Ron Paul. He's awesome. He's talking about the climate hoax. So let's see what Ron Paul has to say.
You know, there's been a coup. We don't have any resemblance to a government that believes in a republic. We don't have honest money. We don't have integrity. We don't even have people in Washington that even pretends, that you're supposed to tell the truth. Remember just recently there was a congressperson that won, and he won by putting on his resume just a bunch of lies. Yeah. And the other ones got hysterical. The other congressmen telling lies like this. And I got to thinking, well, how many of these people that were complaining about this guy telling lies, how many of them lied when they raised their hand up and swore to uphold the Constitution? Now, that's a lie that really has consequences. Actually, you could probably make fun and make a little joke because his jokes weren't, everybody knew he was fibbing, but the real lies are being told, and that is our big problem. But I do believe there has been a coup, and it's been taken over. And if I want to just put the date in my mind. And anybody could pick probably any date in the last 100 years. But I have picked November 22nd, 1963.
What happened on that day?
That was the day Kennedy was murdered by our government.
Wow.
By the CIA.
Yeah. So yeah. Government is just corrupt at the moment, unfortunately. Justin Trudeau is up on his fourth incident of Chinese interference, they're calling it. He's taken, his foundation has taken money from China. And so we have what's called a special rapporteur. It's a stupid name, but what it means is the dude who's going to look into it, right? So the guy who's looking into it was a member and a contributing member of the thanks, Max, I love the fur, contributing member and on the board of the foundation that took the Chinese money. So, and the judge, this guy, this special rapporteur, is also a close personal friend of Justin Trudeau. They spent many summers together, their cottages being adjacent to each other. This man was like an uncle to him. So imagine that. You get to have your uncle judge whether you are corrupt while he's working for the company that he is judging the corruption of. Or the foundation, sorry. It's a good system we lived under. And, it's the same all over the world. We've got judges bought out by Soros and others that are all for this new agenda, this 2030 agenda, right? It's getting, and they're going to use climate change. Bill Gates is already talking about another virus coming out. Something like, what was it? Ebola, AIDS or something. Yeah, I think they've combined Ebola and AIDS into a new pathogen or genetic concoction. They're going to put that out. Hopefully people don't take too many of their white pill or black pills, Paid to do nothing, these types, right? Racketeer, a person who engages in dishonest and fraudulent business dealings. Yep, exactly, Richard. Yeah, chemtrail, gee whiz fluff. What's that? Yeah, they've been thinking about putting vaccines in the food. They've discovered a way to do that under pressure in a liquid bath. They're going to put it in, the Chinese were working on an aerosolized vaccine. And they also intend to vaccinate the animals so that they'll produce spike proteins, thereby vaccinating you or some way vaccinating you. Just doesn't sound healthy to me, but that's the plan. We can go over like Agenda 2030, Event 201 is coming out again. People are starting to talk about it, but that's a thing too, which is good because these things need to be recycled again and again in the news feed and in our lives, because still half the world is total. They're unaware of they're being put under, and the only way that they'll ever be able to break free from the programming is if they hear that one thing, that one story that takes them, out of it. Katie Porter scandal. Who's Katie Porter? Does anyone know who Katie Porter is? They got a new scandal every week too, eh? You notice that? It's ridiculous. There's JP. You guys watch Awaken with JP? I hope you do. He's one of the best sources of news we can get these days. Hey, London, good to see you. You feel bad for them? I do too, Chloe. We were discussing an awakening, if that's going to happen at some point. And it could by several means. They could wake up because of the 100th monkey effect, once we wake up enough people. Or it could be some type of an energetic change. Many people believe there's going to be an energetic change. I think a new planet in the system would be really cool. Seeing a new type of man being born or something. Yeah, JP is hilarious. You okay there, Max? Let's see if JP is hilarious this time.
Hey, bro. You hear about the leaked Ukraine docs? I identify as hearing impaired. Could you please ask me in sign language? Oh, well, I actually identify everything I verbally say to be sign language. Well then, based on the way identity politics works, I guess I understand your question. Yes, I did hear about the docs. A little concerning. Yeah, shows that Biden has had U.S. soldiers on the ground in Ukraine while publicly claiming through the skillful art of lying that he hasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're wrong. I stand corrected. So what I'll say instead is, isn't having U.S. soldiers on the ground in Ukraine one of the principal actions necessary for actively declaring World War III with Russia? Well, not exactly, because it's kind of sort of like the only action necessary. So does that mean we're now in World War III with Russia? Well, the Biden administration that's been lying to us hasn't told us we are. So it's safe to assume we are. Affirmative. Okay. Do you know any good techniques for dealing with complete nuclear war? Yeah, I read that kissing your ass goodbye is a good place to start. Cool. And then what do you do? Well, then it's over. Okay, great. At least we have a plan. Yeah. On that,
Christos, good to see you.
You know how the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki were completely and utterly devastating? Unbelievable. Yeah, it is. And it turns out today's nuclear bombs are 500 times more powerful than those were. Yeah, I can't really fathom, but at least we have a plan to kiss our asses goodbye, so we should be fine. On to other problems we've created that we soon won't worry about because we'll have a real problem on our hands. What are your thoughts on Bud Light's sales prevention strategy using one Dylan Mulvaney? Dude, based on where you stand with that whole thing, I'm surprised. Why do you love it? It cured me of alcoholism. Oh, nice. I haven't had any desire to drink ever since. I'm actually pretty repulsed by that. I'm grateful to Bud Light. Happy for what the biological milk for the women's men in Australia cured me of my golf addiction. Nice.
It's so inclusive.
Yeah, I'm not out there with my time and money anymore. Now, instead of golfing, I started exercising. Isn't golf exercise? Nice try. Yeah, I know. It just some people identify it as exercise. Well, I got to go. There's a yoga class starting at noon. I didn't know you did yoga. I never have before, but I got to start
Oh, wow.
increasing my flexibility. For what? Kissing my ass goodbye. Uh-huh. I'll join you. Hi there. I'm just brushing my teeth in the middle of this studio because this video is brought to you by the Sonic Toothbrush by Primal Life Organics. I don't mean to brag, but I've always brushed my teeth, so I thought I had my oral health covered. But I was wrong because I found out some things that you probably don't know either. I don't know about you. I care about my health because I think health is everything.
You leaving the
I
planet?
was shocked to find out that using a regular old rinky-dink toothbrush is linked to forgetfulness, blood sugar problems,
Options, a big
digestive
boom,
troubles,
weapon, or silent,
moodiness,
or a
and
silent
immunity
one.
issues.
Yeah.
I thought, how the heck can this be? I thought I knew everything. But it turns out our mouths.
Crystal Shaman shared a video with us. Let's see what we've got here. Beyond the reset. Interesting. See what we've got here. Cheers. No thanks for attending. Okay. Oh, okay. Dystopian future that's planned for us. Oh, there's my house right there. That's me, right up third on the left, top row. 026, that's us. So personalized. Hey, Michigander. Good to see you. Anyone wants to pop up in the chat? I was going to play iPet Goat 2, just for fun. And iPet Goat 2. Those are trippy. Oh, that's not 026, third row, number 2. No, my fridge has a smudge on the top. Yeah, absolutely, Scotty. My new digs, right? Exactly, Nina. Okay, just got that. Oh, there we go. I was missing the drone. I was upset he wasn't there. He's comforting.
Good morning. We are bringing to you today's most important news from around the world. Despite all the extraordinary efforts, the government and health system workers are still struggling to bend the curve of growing cases caused by the latest variant of the virus. 5 more people died today, and 30 million tested positively. Citizens are now required to wear masks when they step out to the balconies of their isolation facilities, and take them off only when they are back to the safety of their rooms. Stay compliant. Stay isolated. Stay safe.
That's a good message for everyone.
And now, on to other news. As the whole planet went on the righteous crusade against climate change and global warming, we are excited to spread the word about another successful project.
To you, Big Vlad.
As science tells us, during the night, plants release CO2 into the atmosphere. CO2 is a powerful greenhouse gas that dramatically contributes to global warming. But don't worry. Almost 100,000 square miles of South American rainforest has been cleared, and this area is used to construct one of the largest solar panel fields in the world that will provide us with a tremendous amount of clean energy. We will keep fighting the deadly forests and defeat climate change. That is all for today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's news.
Bruce Kowalski, your weekly food ration has arrived.
Mask up your nose.
The Godfather movie is banned from our database for misrepresentation and stereotypization of the Italian community. Pulp Fiction movie is banned from our database for excessive violence and racist content. The movie 1984 never existed.
Secure your Kia Forte today. There's no time like now. Kia, movement that inspires.
Look me in the eyes. After staring at screens, do your eyes feel dry, tired, or painful? You may have dry eyes. Sustain Complete can help.
Lipid nanodroplet technology soothes to provide instant and all-day dry eye symptom relief. Sustain Complete, now in a preservative-free formula.
Stay compliant. Stay isolated. Stay safe. And now, on to other news. Say goodbye to cows and beef. As you might know, cows and livestock agriculture in general is a source of methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. Cows fart, and the temperature on Earth rises 1 degree with each cow fart, contributing to global warming. This is why the authorities started a cow extermination program, and today the last herd of cows has been dealt with. The Earth has officially become a cow-free planet, and climate change is finally under control. You might get concerned. Where would we obtain our proteins from? Chicken and pork are not commonly accessible products, and beef is gone now. Do not worry. Hundreds of alternative protein manufacturing facilities have been constructed on each continent. They process thousands of tons of protein-rich food. This alternative food contains way more protein than beef. It is cheap to cultivate and it doesn't contribute to global warming. Kudos to science and green agenda. That is all for today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's news.
Bruce Kowalski. Your monthly universal basic income has been deposited into your account. For more information, press details. You have been paid 2,000 central bank digital tokens. The following fees are being deducted: accommodation fee, food ration fee, recycling fee, clean energy fee, personal greenhouse gas emissions fee, climate change fee, diversity fee. Your current remaining balance is 5 central bank digital tokens, and if not spent, it will expire in 7 days. Attention. Important announcement.
Dear residents of the quarantine facility number 89, great news. Here at Nova Gene Labs, we grant you a chance to participate in the trials of our new drug, which has been developed by our research team. This drug is absolutely safe and will bring the end to the deadly virus we are all fighting together for the last several years. Those of you who chose to participate will get a significant social credit score boost. As the result, you will be relocated to a superior isolation facility, receive a higher universal basic income, and become eligible for an improved food ration. Should you choose to participate in the Nova Gene Labs clinical trials program, our specialist will visit you within the next few hours, make an injection, and will be daily monitoring your condition online. Your participation is very important to us and the rest of the world. Make a difference. Follow the science and make the right choice. Nova Gene Labs is not responsible for any side effects, injuries, or death followed after the injection. Sorry to hear that.
luscious caramel milk chocolate squares from Ghirardelli. Makes every day a bite better.
Make memories that
Sorry,
last a
there, guys. Had
lifetime.
another call.
With tools that last a lifetime.
This. Okay, there we go. Sorry about the commercials. Hi, Richard. Good to see you.
Hey, Max. Max. Good to be seen. Can I ask you a question? Are you actually named Max?
No, my name's John. The channel's name is Max Vision. My cat's name is Max.
So what would you? Can I call you John, or are you happy with Max?
I'm actually good with Max.
Okay. Yeah. Makes it easier.
I hope that the channel takes on its own thing, and if I'm gone or I'm not here, something else will come up. Max Vision, you know. There's lots of Max Visions out there too. So.
Okay.
So this is a pretty dystopian video. We lost a bunch of people. Sorry, guys. I had to take a call. Someone in distress. How much longer this is, but yeah, it's a pretty accurate representation of what they want.
What they want, yeah. What they want. You know, it could be
it's 24 minutes.
It could be construed as being.
Does he break out of the? Holy, that's long. I didn't think it was that long, Crystal. There's so many shorter videos.
A new virus that emerged in Asia a couple of months ago keeps spreading all over the world. Some countries are imposing lockdowns and stay-home orders to protect their populations from this highly contagious disease. In our country, 3 persons in their 90s died of the virus.
Oh, looks like he's taking off. Oh, we're going on a bus. Nice. Going on a bus trip to a new place. Back in the near future, okay. Trying to break free. Let's see if the system takes him down.
Do you notice he did his right? They put it on his right hand.
Yeah. Hey, Angel. He's going to get zapped. You should have thought of that.
Attention. Non-compliant resident alert.
Oh no.
Attention. Non-compliant resident alert.
Hey, Rod Dog, how you doing?
Non-compliant resident alert. Attention. Non-compliant resident alert.
Energy shifted today. I've noticed a lot of positive shifts in energy.
Attention. Non-compliant resident alert.
Don't be mean, miss. If it sounds mean, don't say it. Yeah, right. He's going to get his ass beat. Interesting video. Kind of depressing. So how are you doing, Richard? Good to see you.
I'm really good, Max. Thank you. Thank you. Like I say, never let a good live stream go to waste. So I thought I'd pop on for a little chat. Ah. Yeah. Yeah. That barcode on his forehead.
Yeah.
It's got I got a video on it. It's 666. Actually got 666 tattooed on there. And I don't know if you're familiar with gematria.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. A digital barcode is a 666. I think it's English Sumerian, which is like one of the ancient cultures, isn't it? And I find that a lot of British propaganda over the last 3 years, like or like the 6 foot, what was it? Something like the 6 foot gap, keep your distance 6 foot. The expression they use is completely gone out of my head now, but that was a 666. But English Sumerian is the cipher that the British that we've been using over here to communicate. And once you know what it's like, once you realize there is a pattern in their communications, you can pretty much pick it out straight away. You know, like the lights on that spotlight. To me, that's 33. So.
Oh yeah.
You know, 3 and 3. You've
got
the goat.
Well, there's 6 of them, so you could.
Well, there's 6 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Things like Domino's Pizza.
This was put out by conspiracy theorists like us, people that think like us. I think. I don't think this was put out by the establishment.
I think it actually was.
Okay.
And a lot of people do. I've studied it.
Yeah. I know there's the other side of it. Yeah, definitely.
But there is that predictive programming element, and it's you know, it's pretty much like warning. This is what you've got to come. Really.
Just run it through as a chat. Most people have seen this.
Can you drop that comment out of the way, Max? Just for a bit. Well, it sort of obscures a lot of the screen, but there's so much in it.
Oh yeah, like how he changed into Obama, showing how much.
Well, you look at his eyebrows. A lot of people have broken it down to be like a tsunami. There's just so much in it.
Oh yeah.
The 2022 2222
the other night
was
there's the
I did a cipher on that, and that if you go to yeah, a lot of people have broken this down. These are meant to be like, is it 12 presidents?
This is here with the apple. She's on the Masonic floor.
Yeah. There's a lot of eclipse. There's an eclipse there. There's a coin under his foot there, which is reminiscent of a British coin, like the sovereign.
And you know what that graffiti says, right? What does the graffiti say about?
Well, it actually says Psalm 23. But if you take a close look at it, because I study calligraphy and I'm a letter carver, so I do things like tombstones and things like that. The A of the Psalm is not a complete A, it's broken. I've been trying to work out what else it could actually be, and I haven't actually come up with anything. If you stop it there, if you look at the A,
Psalms.
It looks like Psalm, but the A 23. There's 322 in it somewhere, I think. But if you look at the A is broken.
Yeah.
The A is not a complete A. Behind the
S,
it's
got the S over top and the L, right?
It's got the S over it, but they've erased the.
Yeah, there is a piece missing. There would be a piece going, a line going down.
And, I mean, that for me, the way they work is too obvious, really, for it to be that. It could be PS, something else. You know, you've got the lightning bolt, which is synonymous with Lucifer, isn't it? Fallen
lamps?
angels.
It could be an anagram for lamps.
Yeah, you you get into it. You can spend a lot. People have spent their whole. There are channels.
Let's continue to play so we don't get stuck here.
Yeah.
It is a
flag.
Interesting video.
You see that flag there, Max?
Okay.
Max.
No, I missed it. But okay. What's the flag?
Well, there was a report of the biggest American flag in America getting torn. You remember that?
A flag for. Sorry, go ahead.
The biggest American flag, like the world record American flag, the largest one, actually did get torn a few years back. You're not familiar with that?
No, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to refresh this.
I wonder if I can find it. That apparently that badge on Osama bin Laden's jacket there is a CIA. It's rife. It's literally rife with predictive programming. Symbology, and you know, there's your twin tower.
Yeah,
reference.
Look at it's got a buttocks on it. See, it's got a bum.
There's a lot of sexuality in it as well.
Yeah.
And it's the bringing in of the Antichrist.
Clams, yeah. Yeah, we have an opposing view on that too, right? Like you think that the creature, the person in the boat is the Antichrist. I think it's the
Absolutely.
Christ.
But this is the thing: when Christ does come, every knee shall bow. So what they're actually bringing in there is somebody that has ended up alone because, you know, that's not representative.
No, I've only seen it myself about 3 or 4 times.
So. Yeah, and that there is a sign for not that one.
See, here now we see that's the evil Antichrist in the TV to me.
That's the television, which is the, you know, it's the programming element, isn't it?
Yeah, the evil AI even.
Markets plunged.
I see the Christ is sleeping in the boat, right? I don't know what's going on here. I don't quite get.
This is an attack on a lot of people. There you go. That symbol, the heart inside a heart, is like a child. A child user, we'll put it that way. That's a symbol that they use.
Why is it chugging along here? It's having trouble. I don't know why it's having such trouble here.
Yeah, children dying. I mean, if you know, people have sort of looked at this as being an attack on. There you go. That's not Jesus Christ. That is symbolic of Russia, hammer and sickle.
Well, hold on now.
Communism.
He's got doesn't he have a thorny crown?
He has a barbed wire.
Well, that's the thorny crown, right? I would think.
Well, it could be, but
let's see. This only lives.
Jesus Christ is going to come from the clouds. He's not going to be
in a physical form. Was that on the iCloud or?
Well, the anti might come that way. There's numbers in that. There's like 23 in those explosions.
Yeah.
But I think that's
to me that looks like the sleeping Christ.
What with a pyramid on his forehead? No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't necessarily even 666. I don't take these things have their positive and negative connotations. So
but it's a way that they use to signal,
it, right?
Of course, yeah, but it's a way that they use to signal, you know, like hand gestures, etc. One hand over the eye. It's forming an allegiance with
the fish. The fisher of men on the fish. So those fish, I think, symbolize the men and people coming on board with him, waking him up.
No, they're a specific type of fish. No? Okay. Somebody's actually broken the fish down, and it's a specific type of fish. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't go into that. That's the because their blood dried up then, didn't it? I think it's a lot to do with sterilization.
Yeah.
Now watch this bit here. These are the minions. Yeah, I see these as the minions that have helped Satan along the way. You know, like your politicians and your one-eyed symbolists. Okay, you know, Satan is a lover of nothing.
Yeah, okay, so he destroyed his own minions in your.
Well, he does it. Yeah, he wants. It's him, isn't it? Him and him alone. We, you know, what's a human being? It's just there to be used. He's not going to be having a party. Well, for all these Max, he's not going to be holding a big party for all these minions, these earthly minions. He's not going to be holding a big party, is he?
Oh no, they apparently they go by the wayside and get killed themselves. That's
get destroyed.
What
yeah,
usually happens to them. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to reset.
But it's worth just sitting back and, you know, if you type in IPEC Go 2 and Decipher, there's so much out there.
Oh yeah.
This is
there's many different deciphers of it.
Shiva. Look, because what they're doing is they're bringing in the Antichrist.
There's all the lotus flowers, right?
Yeah, there's a breakdown of the lotus flowers and what they actually mean. That's barbed wire, the all-seeing eye, a pyramid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, you do know pyramids are healing, right? If you,
you watch what he
put fruit underneath a
pyramid,
it'll last longer, and it has health benefits.
So why is he going to destroy the pyramid?
Well, he's got the pyramid on his forehead.
Yeah, but there's a pyramid there in the distance.
The all-seeing eye. Pyramid, fire in the middle.
Well, that I imagine is a sun. It's sun worship, isn't it? They worship the sun, which is false idol worship, because God created the sun.
What's with the comet coming out of them? Oh, they got a couple.
I think that's like directed energy weapons, I think. And then you've got the Helio, which is the sun, and then something that alludes to possibly an eclipse with the O. It's a fascinating film.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sort of created created a lot of interest going back over the years. And I think it's the only video they've actually got on their channel, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's no copyright on it. Yeah, it's a weird one, but
yeah, it's an interesting video.
It's very, very. It's haunting music. It's not uplifting, you know, sort of righteous music, is it? It's not going to lift you up to God.
Yeah, the music is very, very sad sounding. Let's see, are we sharing that? Yeah, there we go. Let's see if this one will play decently. The goat's cute. I do love the goat. Hey, Thoth, you missed the boobs.
5-pointed star.
Fool me what? Fool me what? Shame on. Shame on. Shame on you. Shame on you. Let me take it for again. Take it for again. Take it for again. Take it for again.
The Grand Wizard, eh? Howdy, Toph. Good to see you. Oh, it's the same video. Listen to the music though. That's true, Tom. I could never find out that goats when it's this one. Supposed to be part 2. Yeah. I was looking for it, trying to find the other one, but I couldn't find it. I'm watching this, my tummy hurts. We'll eat something. Let's pull this one out. You've seen this. So that is an interesting video. I have a different perspective on it than you, but yeah, I think that's cool. It's a really cool video. Oh, sorry. Here's the, oops. Climate activists again. Sorry about that.
So we are dealing with a lot of this. So there are.
I start with Patrick Young. He is from the DC groups.
Of coal, oil, and gas. Thank you so much.
But Toth,
oh, well.
Is it Toth? Anyway. Toth just made a comment. I never could
yeah.
find iPad Go since the one is supposed to be part 2.
Yeah, I was looking for it too. Like I typed in iPad Goat and it gave me 2, and then I typed in
well,
iPad
I think
Goat
iPad
2
Goat 1 was the book that George Bush was reading, because he was reading it in the classroom, wasn't he, on that fateful day? You remember?
There was 2 videos. One.
And iPad Goat 2 is the animation of the follow-on from, because there is reference to that fateful day. I haven't come across iPad Goat 1, apart from the book. I think the book is just called iPad Goat, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, it's called the book's called iPad Go, and you know, it's got to be part of a script that they were specifically reading that.
Yeah, I just thought it was put out by conspiracy theorists myself, but 3D animation, that one again. Goat, 3D Goat Simulator.
I mean, to produce that cartoon, that video would take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And would your average conspiracy theorist go through all that trouble without divulging anything further than just putting the video out there? I think it's like predictive programming, really. It's putting out there what they're hoping is going to happen. You know, like sterilization.
Yeah, could be.
You know, the mind dumbing, an attack of the fall of America, which will happen. Unless, of course, I thought of this today, Max, actually. Can you remember that famous, well, can you remember Barack Obama? I think it was in France. He addressed a conference in France, and he said about your average or your common person, they haven't really got that, verbatim, I can't remember it, alluding to the fact that what we haven't got is organization. There were two, I've got it on my computer somewhere, but it's quite famous. We haven't got humanity hasn't got it's not the intelligence. I think it's like, probably like we haven't got the organization to run our own lives, really. That was what he was actually alluding to. Just because we, just because
that's been taken away from us.
It's been gradually, government gradually.
Yeah, they've become, we're now living in the nanny state, right?
And welcome to the show this morning.
Let's see what this guy.
At the year that this book came out.
So here is the
let's do a little
book that he's talking about.
Draw on the screen time, so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Text. We're going to start here. 1997.
This guy's a
1776. You'll see the double numbers in the middle, 9977, and you'll see that the sevens. There's the 7 at the end of 97, and the 7's in the middle, and then the 9's in the middle of 1997, and the 9 in reverse back here. Mirror years. Now, May 1st is the 121st day of the year. Let's do some writing on here. 121st day of the year. Okay. And from May 1st to September 11th is 133 days. From May 1st.
This guy comes up with a lot of numbers.
The 11th of September. I wanted to show you guys that as well here. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. And this 33 is going to come up again and again and again. Here's the date calculator. 5/1/2020 to the 11th of September 2020. You just use the year 2020 as an arbitrary number. But as you can see, here is 133 days. Now follow me on this. This is very, very important. This isn't just throwing a bunch of numbers together.
Yeah, I'm not an accountant either, Emmett.
Let's do this. We're going to start over here. 133 days. Now, let's look at the 21s. Let's do this. What other 21s do we have? Well, we have this reading mastery level 2, storybook 1.
Okay.
Story 1.
It's not keeping my interest at the moment.
There's another 2 and a 1. Now, why is it 2 and 1 important? Because 2001 is the year where all this would happen. Let's go back to the 13s, though. We're going to make a call for the.
Okay. Let's move on a bit.
She talks about that it was.
No. Okay. Well. Oh, well. Don't want to really listen to his entire decode. It's a 50-minute video, so. (21=3), yeah. Or blackjack, yeah. Yeah, I'm not too into the numbers. I don't get lost in the decodes and stuff that much. I listen to them every once in a while, but mostly I watch for what's happening. The white papers will tell you a lot of what they plan, so you can read those, and like Agenda 2030, Agenda 21. And they pretty much put it out there for you. You like the number 9? What are you, a Beatles fan? Ultra rich, yeah, getting. Well, they want us to get uppity, Toth. That's the idea. Why do you think they're collapsing everything? Yeah, you know Enter the Stars probably. He's got a good channel. Yeah, numbers can be manipulated so easy. Yeah, it can be a rabbit hole. Distract you from, making a stand for other things, or, just taking you off your game. What's 138? Go ahead.
666 is 911. Did you know that? 911 is 666.
Oh, neat. No, I didn't know that.
Let me share a video. It's less than a minute long.
Sure.
Where shall I put it? Shall I put it in private?
No, you can actually present it. You're in StreamYard. So down at the bottom there's present. You hit that. You hit the audio button at the bottom.
I'm familiar with that. I just think it'd probably be, because if I do that,
my computer's having trouble playing videos for some reason at the moment. Guess it's getting hot or something.
I've just put a link in. I can share it, but what it tends to do is lag my computer a bit.
Okay, I'll give it
just for a while. I've just put a link in. Oh, I can't put a link in.
You can put it in YouTube. Yeah, you can put it in private chat.
I've just put it in private. It didn't show up in the live chat there because
no, I got it.
You got it. It's only a bit of fun, mate, but it's it's just one of those funny coincidences that becomes kind of I become aware of now and again.
All right, take a look. There's the 9. But how come the OK isn't? Oh, okay, the OK would be 611 or 116.
And that's it. But
Okay.
911.
That's an interesting view. Yeah.
911 is it's been adopted by the UK as well now, but 999 used to be the emergency call number, which if you flip that, you got 666. But 999 used to be the emergency call number. And I know 911 is the emergency call number in America.
Yeah. Same in Canada too.
Well, now they've actually adopted it in Britain, in the UK, as part of the emergency services, 911. So there's a lot of synergy between what's happening in, I think I think now is the time that they're letting it be known that America is not independent from.
Hey, Tony.
America is not independent from the UK, Great Britain.
No, we're all one system now, unfortunately.
Absolutely,
in the West.
yeah. And I think you always have been. It was.
What do you think of BRICS? Is that you think that's a true breakaway, or? Personally, I have my own views on that.
Tell me your views.
I think it's just well, I've heard. I don't know that it's my view, but I've heard that it's actually just more of a digital system. It's going to be like a digital dollar, like the CBDCs that we've got. They're going to try to roll that out that way.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much one system, right? All they have to do is link them up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then fundamentally, I think the agenda is to get people off of actual cash money into the digital realm. And the other thing is to collapse the dollar because the dollar is a world currency, isn't it?
Yeah, they're even going after the other cryptos too.
There is that, yeah. So I think the cryptos like your Bitcoin, particularly Bitcoin, you know, it's just one of those normalizing processes, isn't it? Well, we'll normalize the idea of Bitcoin, digital currency as being normal. Like,
even the digital currency, once you unless you can trade it peer to peer with somebody, you're going to have to go through the cash system eventually, and they've got you there. You know,
absolutely, yeah. It's you know, it's like they gradually over the years, what was it, the last 50 or 60 years, credit cards have been introduced and accepted, and then payment by phone. You know, firstly, there was with like debit cards and bank cards. You had to insert it into a machine and type in a PIN, and then it was just wave it in front of this this machine, and you're
I was never down for that. I hated that option.
And now they've got the option. Now they've got the facility or the service where all you can use your phone. You just wave your phone.
I see a lot of people doing that. And, that's how
and
they get you onto the system, right?
Yeah, and there are countries that have implemented in certain shops microchip payments in the body, microchip payments. I mean, Silicon Valley, it's been out in Silicon Valley for about, I don't know, 12 years, something like that. But there is an Amazon store as well that is only payment by some sort of chip.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
I've seen a surge. I've seen a surge on the other side of the coin too. There is actually now a gold dollar that people are making. I don't know where it's being used. I don't think it's widely used, but people are pushing back. It's actually like a dollar bill, but it has a sliver of gold flat between it.
Yeah,
there's gold and silver. There are people that are taking silver for payment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There is a possibility of fighting back and taking us back to a dollar based on something. A metals based dollar is really good now because they need the metals so desperately for electronics and power supplies and other things, right?
Absolutely, if we went back to in Britain, we used to have notes that had a sliver of silver in.
Yeah.
A strip of silver, and they did away with that. But because it's known as the British pound sterling, and sterling, you've got sterling silver. And now they've replaced it with, you know, useless magnetic. You know, the coins are magnetic, which means, you know, basically this iron, which has no value, and we have plastic notes. All our notes are plastic now, so you know, and it's you know, it's gradually moving. The whole system has been coercing people into being, you know, accepting of digital payments.
Yeah, I did get some silver and a few pieces of gold. I may not be able to use it to buy things, but it may be useful for bribes, guys. So
bribes.
Yeah.
Well, it's an element of bartering at the end of the day, isn't it? And it you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a possibility. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, you know.
No.
And there you go. Get some food.
Eggs are a barterable commodity.
Yep.
So I think
food is a really good thing to have, other than you know, a little supply of metals or something.
Yeah.
But food is really important. Seeds. Yeah. Alcohol. People love alcohol.
I was going to say alcohol, but and then, you know,
tobacco. Yeah.
But the fundamental currency that we all have is our energy and our time. You know, the time and the energy we spend in filling our
robots the robots are taking over that part of our labor force. They have an entirely automated McDonald's now in the States somewhere.
Yeah.
There are no employees. I think there might be one just to watch over it, but pretty much, you know, nothing. No human interaction at all needed. They've got a burger flipping machine that will squirt whatever you want on there, and it's You know?
And I think I watch a lot of like Japanese and Chinese cooking videos, like the street chefs and things like that. And they've had these systems in place for years, automated machines that will, you know, make you, I don't know what they call them, the noodles. What those little noodles?
Yeah, rice
And
noodles and stuff.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, out of a vending machine, so you get a really, really quality meal. look wise, I don't know what the ingredients are. But going back to this BRICS, which includes, I think, is it Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, China, India, Brazil, might be Argentina by now. Anyone have any other? Because there's quite a few countries. It's not. It started off like 3 or 5, but it's expanded.
Iran.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia's gone on board, which is
Saudi
bad
Arabia.
for the States.
That's it.
Right?
Now, can you remember when Donald Trump was in a conference and they had like the glowing globe that all these a few leaders had their hands on?
Yeah, I remember seeing Trump with his hands on it.
Yeah, and then there was also, we'll call them the Far East. There was a Far Eastern representative there as well. You know, and you've got to think, the people that have this power, will they relinquish their power? You know, these people live in the lap of luxury.
Right.
They're not going to want to relinquish that. So if the one world system gives them a seat at the table just by selling their nation out, there aren't going to be many people those that kick back are going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, like they've done with, you know, and it's not just America that attacked the rest of the world. It's the UK has an equal input as well. You know, but I think the thing that we're lacking, I was actually going to possibly do a live stream maybe tomorrow, just regarding firstly what Obama said. It was people are too stupid really to govern their own affairs, and which, you know, equates to the fact that we haven't got the organization of community skills have taken over, like your local councils have taken over refuse collections, whereas, you know, if they hadn't introduced these collections, people generally, you know, can manage themselves, can't they? It's just a gradual step to being reliant on government and your councils.
Yeah.
And now they've gone rife with implementing the C40 cities.
Yeah. Now they want to take care of everything. They're going to be they're trying to be a complete nanny state.
Absolutely.
You know, which just runs into a totalitarian fascist state.
Absolutely, 100%.
Under a technocratic AI control, it's not a good world and not a good idea. And even Elon Musk is saying, you know, telling them they got to stop with this globalization because it's not good. You know, they talk about diversity, but then they're just killing diversity as much in every way they can. They're total hypocrites in everything they say.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we were looking at the robot dogs. You know, we've got the hamburger flippers, and they've got robot dogs.
Yeah.
Already in the streets of New York. So this is not good. You know, are they going to start scanning for QR codes soon? I bet they are.
Oh, absolutely, yes. You know, it's pretty much like fingerprinting, or, you know, everybody's got, you know, most people have got a mobile phone or a cell phone with a unique number.
See you later, Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like in China, they've got those flying drones that demand you show your QR code. You know, how long is it before they start mounting a gun on top of that? You know, I don't think it'd be too long.
Are you familiar with? I got a good friend, and he spends a lot of time playing. It's like an online, like a soldier game. I can't remember the name of it now. It's what is it? It's probably the most famous, soldier game there is.
Don't know. I know Call of Duty. I played that. But
that's it.
Is it? Okay.
It's something like that. Yeah.
All right.
And I'm sat there watching him one day, and he's just totally immersed in it, and he's in communication with people all over the world as part of his little team. And I'm just thinking, at some point, it's possible that what he could, and I put this to him. I said, what you could actually be doing is you could actually be controlling an AI robot out in the field.
Yeah.
From the comfort of your lounge, drinking your Stella, and smoking your doobie. And I said, it's possible that you could actually be sat there murdering real people with a drone robot.
Yes. I've seen examples of the desensitization. They do it with videos. There's a young guy watching a video of a turkey that got thrown out of a truck and run over, and he somehow thought that was funny.
Wow.
So they are, they put a laugh track with it and all the music and shit to make it give them the proper response in their mind, right? That it was funny.
Yeah. And there is that sort of experiment going with the crowd. Like I've seen a guy walk into a lift, not a video of a guy walking into a lift, and the door's shut and everybody's facing the back wall. So he turns around just because everybody else had turned around, assuming that they were all facing the door, but they weren't. They were just facing the back. When the door opened behind him, he's like, there are quite a few like just going with the crowd, really, experiments that they do.
Yeah.
So people are being blindly led. There needs to be a bigger
and manipulated, completely.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've been trained to respond to music, sounds, colors, frequencies. They use those to manipulate our emotions and our perceptions.
And the power of suggestion is, and then there's also that element of temptation.
Yeah. Apparently, they've come up with a new advanced voice-to-skull technology involving nanotech inside the body. So that's kind of an interesting one. All towards, total control of the mind. They want to break in the blood-brain barrier. That's key. And those nanogels, apparently, they do that. So,
wow.
You can protect that with velvet bean extract and a little bit of nicotine. Apparently will help protect for that.
Oh, that's handy then.
Yeah, so just take some every once in a while, and hopefully that supports your blood-brain barrier. And you want to take it in times where they're actually putting out toxins and stuff. I can't talk about it too much. Yeah. I'll get banned. But that's a good thing to take. Also, L-arginine and L-citrulline, where they're those dogs that took the medication. I'm going to give this all in metaphor, guys. There are dogs that took medication for hairballs, and they're shedding, right?
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So they're shedding fur all over everybody else, and everybody else is getting fur balls in their veins. So you can take L-arginine and L-citrulline to help with that.
Are you familiar with? I'm just trying to do a little search. There's because I've got a document somewhere about Crimson Mist.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Yeah,
I'll see if
they made an entire city go mad, or an entire village.
It was over a million people were genocided by themselves, just through brain, this skull technology.
Didn't they run around? They suicided themselves, or did they run around?
No. This was a genocide. This.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find. I'll see if I can find the actual document. I might have it on my
right, Thoth? Well, yeah, they're putting a lot of metals up there. Well, and the actual medications themselves, the antipsychotic medications can cause psychosis. And oftentimes when they're coming off it, it does. Or if they don't take their regular medication, there's all kinds of things that can interfere with them too. A fur ball yesterday. You don't have a cat. Blaming the government on the poison caused by the big corporations. Well, there's the Weather Modification Act of 1979, Thoth, where the government agreed to weather modification pretty much carte blanche. All you have to do is report your findings and what you sprayed in the sky afterwards, and you're all good. And the results of your experiment, if there was one. So, yeah, they pretty much have carte blanche to spray the skies with whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's bat fur. You've been eating soup? You've been having bat soup, Scotty boy? Did you find it?
I've actually got a link to stopthecrime.net. Right, here's one here. I've got a couple of links. I did actually do a short video on it, but I also did a live stream on it with Rob. There's a PDF here.
Yeah. So what do they think the cause was? Was it electromagnetic frequencies, poisoning, combination?
Right. I've just put a link.
All right.
It's to in the private chat, Max.
All right.
Whether that's, I'm not sure. Let me have a look myself.
Crimson Mist. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. It makes sense by the title now, right?
Yeah. The electronic slaughter in Rwanda. That's the one. It's literally fascinating it's just handy to know exactly what they can do. So if there is anything that we can do to protect ourselves. I mean, I had somebody I made a comment about 2 years ago on a video, and it's a music video, and it's from 2020 actually, so that's like 3 years ago. But I made a comment about 2 years ago, and somebody replied yesterday, "Oh, put your tinfoil hat back on." Well, so anyway, I just responded with a jovial little reply. And but the thing about, I did an experiment with Rob Wild. I do live streams occasionally with him, and we actually, firstly, it's not made the tinfoil hats. It's aluminium foil. Aluminium and tin are two different elements. Yep. So there's a sort of like a psychological joke going on there for one thing. But what they've actually do is ridiculed. I'll continue calling them tinfoil hats. Mm-hmm. They've ridiculed them when actually we did an experiment. Now Rob phoned me up on my cell phone, live on this live stream, and it rang, and then I wrapped it in aluminium foil, and he phoned me, and it didn't ring.
Yep.
And then I took it out of the aluminium foil, and it updated, said you got a missed call, and we tried it again.
I have a phone protector I use. To keep my
but this is the thing: if it stops the signal getting to, because even just sat here. I'm not Wi-Fi. I'm sort of hardwired, and it's as far away from me as I can stretch it. But the idea that tinfoil, well, I'll call them aluminium foil hats. Then is something to be ridiculed. There is evidence now from my own, from my own scientific experiment that aluminium foil does actually stop these waves.
It does.
From getting through. So the tinfoil hat has been ridiculed for a reason, and that is to put people off the scent of the fact that aluminium foil does actually stop these radio waves.
Yeah, silver does too, copper, almost any metal. My shirts are lined with silver. These shirts have silver on the inside.
And I thought this today as well. I got what about steel cans?
Well,
which are magnetic.
Here's an interesting thing. About a year ago, I guess now, I started wearing a wire with a battery on it, a grounded wire, so it's to the negative pole.
Yeah.
And recently, I heard that the cure for Helsinki syndrome, Havana syndrome, I think it is, Havana or Helsinki, the radiation poisoning that they had, that they experienced, was apparently, they said, 2 copper loops on your temples grounded. They didn't explain how they were grounded or anything, but I've been doing that for about a year, using grounded wire to stop toothaches and other physical ailments from the excess electricity in the air.
Yeah. And I've actually caught a couple of your explanations of this, and you actually showed what you use. Is it a 9-volt battery?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
Which is it's just these little things that, if they do work, they're just really, really handy prepping. And here's the thing about, can you make yourself big, Max, so we can all have a look at it? Because this is crucial.
Yep.
Can you make yourself full screen?
Yep. Here we go.
Just so everybody knows.
So what you do is you take some tape and you cover over the positive pole, right?
Yeah.
And you can take, excuse me, you can take hard wire or soft wire and do this. So a really flexible multi-weaved wire, or just a hard wire like this. You wrap it around the negative pole of the battery, and then I wrap it around the battery once so that it stays in place.
Yeah.
And then tape it right on there, loop it around, and I put a little hook on the bottom. There's actually a bend in this wire coming down to the bottom so that it stays on the bottom.
Yeah.
So you just do that, and yeah, I wear that constantly.
And does that battery have to have any charge in it?
Yeah, it's got to have a full charge. It'll work for about a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Once they usually start off at around 9.65 volts, and they after a month they drop down to around 9.5, and that's about the point they stop working.
Okay.
But it's usually about a month. If you're having any ill effects, like I have toothaches from it, you'll notice immediately. But if you don't have any immediate effects and you can't really notice it and you just want to wear it to be protected, I would suggest to replace it about every month or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or recharge it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put it back on.
Yeah, I will give that a go, actually.
And I find on some really heavy days I have to wear more grounding. So I have ones for my belt loop that are just looped around in a U shape. And another one for around my neck. That gets heavy after a while. But yeah, it seems to have quite a big effect. I've had, my wife gets random toothaches for no reason. And it works on hers. Just her whole mouth will for no reason just start hurting.
Yeah.
And you put your finger on a negative pole of a battery and it goes away.
Wow.
And a young man at work, he's having toothaches and swollen glands. And I gave him a battery, and he's like, I said, "Here, hold this." And he looked at me, with a scoffing look, obviously. And I said, "Just try it for 30 seconds." And he put his thumb on the battery, the negative pole, and it wasn't 30 seconds. It was about 3 seconds. He's like, "Oh, okay." That actually works.
Yeah.
So
I got similar things with my mum. She visits once a month, and she's having trouble sleeping. And I came across I think it's Dr. Bergman or something, and he was on about how to if you're having sleep problems, just how to pretty much get to sleep.
Yeah.
And it was like rubbing 2 points on your wrist
Oh yeah.
together. And she's, I mean, she sort of scoffed at pretty much everything just because I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Mhm.
She pretty much scoffs until such time as either somebody, because she still works in the hospital, until somebody verifies it. Like, I've promoted the use of turmeric and garlic and things like that. And it's not until things are verified by somebody at her hospital that is into like homeopathic remedies, etc., and herbal remedies, that she'll take it seriously.
Mhm.
Or I'll show her a little short, even show her a little short video, YouTube video. Does actually help to a degree. But I'd explain to her about this rubbing your wrists together for 30 seconds before you go to sleep, and she's okay. And she tried it, and it actually works. So she's like, I mean, it's a little bit late to cleanse her of certain things. She's, she works in a hospital. What she's done, which grieves me, but she's done it just for the benefit of people that she comes in contact with, because she believed what she was being told. And but it really makes my whole body smile when I can convert or convince my mum of little things like that, because it gives some validity to everything else I've been talking about. And I have one that says, well, if we're under attack from aliens, don't be worried, Mum. Just know that it is part of the agenda.
Yeah.
So, and just all these little things, just a warning of what's to come, possibly.
You can get a grounding mat for your bed to help you sleep as well. I have a grounded wire wrapped around the bottom of my bed, so my feet are on it when I sleep. Yeah. It helps. I did do that because I have what is it called? Where you kick your leg in the middle of the night.
Like a spasm or cramp?
Yeah, leg spasms, and that pretty much stops it completely.
Yeah.
It's the excess energy, and you can get metal sheets for your bed as well.
Yeah.
There's fabric and sheets you can buy. There's all kinds of protection out there, and the less exposure you have, the more your body can heal.
Yeah. And there was something I did research it. There are a few videos on how to make. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember. It's oh gosh, it's a combination of like wool and metal in layers, and wool and metal.
Oh yeah.
What's it called? It was very, very famous. It was very famous. Cured things, diseases, the big C.
Oh yes. That's I even have a picture of that.
Yeah. Oh, something
Schumann's.
bombs.
That's Reif's box. Shoot. Yeah, that's Reif, isn't it?
Reich. Is it Reich? Yeah.
Reich. Yeah.
Wilhelm Reich. Yeah. Wilhelm Reich. Do you know the film? Do you know the Kate Bush song "Cloud Busting"?
Yes.
Do you know what that is actually referencing?
No.
That's Wilhelm Reich.
Yeah, she does have like a cloud busting machine in the video, doesn't she?
That's it. Yeah. And like all good inventions, it's been weaponized. But during the film, Kate Bush, who actually played his son, reached into his pocket and pulled out a book just before he was taken away. And that book was what's the name of the book? Something by Wilhelm Reich. But I've got a book. I think it's upstairs, because he was into like the sex. He was sort of like harnessing the benefits of all the, like the power of the orgasm and things like that. He was
sacred sex.
Yeah. So he sort of, he had an eclectic mix of things he was kind of interested in.
Yeah,
but
saving the seed and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it has to do with the pineal and the cycles of the pineal and Christ and the connection and the third eye and yeah.
But well, I'm right. Fascinating guy. Sex Pole, I think, was a book I got. It wasn't actually written by him. It was written about him.
Okay.
I think it's upstairs. But yeah, a fascinating guy. He's just one of these guys that, you know, like I guess Tesla.
Yeah.
You know, they know things.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
wanna-
he said he got most of his information in like dream state, pretty much. Tesla. He didn't. So he was contacting the ether. Like that's what we practice on my channel. If you ever come by for class again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I did have a go at your live stream last night, Max,
Yeah.
and I sort of what I struggled with was obviously practice, but the thing that sort of overrides my vision is the video. I'm watching like the video. You got the video of like a drone flying over landscape, etc. And that to me is to a degree is sort of prompting my train of thought.
Is it? Yeah, some people find that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I tend not to catch your live streams at the very beginning, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, try and ignore that. I really like reading the chat and stuff. You know, you should do it between viewings. So, you know, don't stare at the screen all throughout the entire viewing. You've got to take your eyes off it. And reading the chat too can influence your answers. So that's kind of another thing to consider.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know, but I mean, I mentioned about camels. Now, I closed my eyes and a camel came into my mind. Well, camel did. I was hoping that there was going to be a camel, you know. Or,
well, it can
but
be
it just-
symbology, right? Could be a
Camel.
symbology of dry. Could be a symbology of desert. Because, okay, like when I see colors, I usually don't see colors. I'll see an animal representative of a color.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can be like a symbolic meaning as well. You have to think into your past and your experiences because it's your vision, right?
Yeah. But I, you know, it just sort of come to me and I thought, well, I mean, this is the thing. Do I say it? Do I type it?
Yeah, the first thing you see.
Or not.
No matter what it is.
You know, it might seem like I'm taking the piss or something, but I'm just because it's so far out there and so far away from what the image actually is, you know, but yeah, it's sort of an interesting topic.
Just keep with it. Try not to put your ego into it. Like, you know, don't be invested in the answer because the answer isn't really from you, right? The idea is to separate yourself from the answer and just see it.
Yeah.
Right. So with no ego. Yeah. Hey, London man, come on up.
Come on up, London.
So you're trying to ignore your own impressions and emotions in the thing. Just receiving a pure message of what you see.
And where is that? That's coming from your vision. Your
third eye, yeah. Once you close your eyes in the darkness, there's always some light, right?
Yeah.
And
what
even
is-
if it's just shapes, colors, you know, movement, you know, whatever
Yeah.
you see.
Yeah. And sort of what we were on about on Adrian's live stream last night was like the ESP.
Yeah.
And that possibly is a lost or hidden.
Well, that's
or-
one thing that practice seems to give people is a little bit of a better intuition.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah. And intuition is really important, especially these days, because so much can be faked, right? And people can be fake. You know, understanding, being able to see what people are is very important. You know, I describe it to people like this. Say you were going to battle and we are at war, pretty much. We have been for 100 years. Wouldn't you like to be able to see over the next hill before you stuck your head up over there?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what remote viewing can do for us, hopefully, is give us that ability, you know, to know when not to stick our head up and get it shot off, or, you know, proverbial or literally, you know.
Good point, yeah. Good point.
I like the sound
Hey,
of that.
man, how you doing, Adrian?
Yeah, it is.
I'm good. I've brought my mate Dino with me. Hope you
Hey,
don't
Dino.
mind.
No, that's fine.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Dino?
I am very well, thank you, Max. And you?
Doing great. Good Saturday afternoon. What time is it? Oh,
I like that little analogy you put in there. Best to know what's going on over the side before you stick your head up.
right.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Forewarned is forearmed.
There you go. How you doing, Rich? You okay?
Oh, brother, I'm absolutely okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Good man.
Right.
Yeah.
Scotty boy knows we all have the ability. We just need to remember how to do it. That's all.
That's the thing, yeah. We remember, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So what's that you got on the screen there?
Operation Crimson Mist, where they willing to commit mass murder. Though officially tagged an experiment, none of those present day had any doubt that this was merely a cosmetic cover for a gruesome operational work ahead. Each member had been carefully vetted and then vetted against the U.S. intelligence to ensure they had the right stuff, and then were philosophically committed to two objectives. First was the evolving need to control or eliminate political dissonance by remote means in the run-up to the 21st century. The second was the need to stem or reverse massive population increase across the world, which threatened to overwhelm existing natural resources, especially water, food. Intrinsically, this requires a willingness to commit mass murder, and everyone present has passed the critical test with flying colors. So, yeah. Let's see. Creating electronic rage. What the Hercules crew had just achieved had been an open secret since the late 50s, when they researched accidentally discovered that there is a precise control brainwave for literally everything we do or everything we feel. The problem back then was that each of these control brainwaves, rage, fear, panic, lethargy, vomiting, and so on, had to be transmitted with an accuracy taken out to 3 decimal places, or they simply did not work at all. But as years rolled by and the advent of transistors and microprocessors, the operational application of precise control brainwave became practical reality. So, yeah. Purple mist. So they flew these Hercules planes over, transmitting frequencies to cause people to become enraged. I have a video where I like to play, and there's a lady in front of Congress claiming that these waves can cause psychosis, manic episodes, and various other rage-instilled things. So, and they've only gotten better and better with this technology.
Mm-hmm. First time I'm hearing about all of this. Never heard about this before.
No? Oh, this has been going on since the 70s, with starting, for my knowledge, from the Lilly wave. 1972, I think John C. Lilly invented the Lilly wave, and it runs through 60 hertz wiring. So the wiring in most people's in North America have their wiring run on 60 hertz. So the Lilly wave will work through the wiring in your house to transmit pulse, collect brain waves, and they can play them back to you. So they can collect positive or negative. They can collect all your brain waves, the frequency of them, map them, and then play them back to you. And what they like to do is play back negative emotions that you've experienced. At one point, they even went as far as to, because I've been controlling my own emotions for a long time, they don't seem to have much to feed me back, which they went and dug deep in my brain and found pain. So for a couple weeks, I was getting random like pains like that I had in the past. Like one time I put a nail through my foot. Well, for about 30 seconds, I re-experienced that pain. It was very strange. There are a couple other experiences like that. They could have been just random pains from random energies, but it seemed awfully specific.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, Max. It's interesting. There was an how am I going to put this? There was a video I watched about how, when you say you're nailing a nail and you hit your thumb with a nail. The guy was saying you put the hammer on your thumb and you identify with the pain, and it will remove it. And your brain will remove the pain.
Does it work?
It's like if you identify.
Have you smashed your thumb and found out?
Sorry?
Have you tried this experiment?
Yes.
Okay.
I do it with headaches.
Okay.
Right?
You hit your head with a hammer and then put the hammer to your head?
Good on you, Magic. So with a headache, you identify where the headache is. You identify the strength of the headache, and you paint a picture of it in your mind, and you concentrate on that picture until you eliminate the pain.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
No, it
I'll have
works
to
for
practice
me.
that. I don't get many headaches, so usually I get stress headaches. I don't usually get like electronic or that, but usually from my hands I get there's a reflexology point that I use. I get it stiff between my thumb and forefinger, that area there. My wife gets that too. It helps with migraines.
Like a cramping.
Yeah, because some people will sleep with their hands clamped up, and they just get completely cramped up, and that runs right up to the back of your head, and it can hit up to the jaw and the neck. And it depends on where. It can hit with different people in different spots. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that familiar? Is that similar to Reiki, Max? You're familiar with Reiki?
Kind of. It's you would reflexology. You press and squeeze the muscle, the sore muscle, for 3 to 5 seconds. Hold on. No, it's backwards. You massage it for 3 to 5 seconds, and then you squish it and let it go. Something like that.
Yeah.
We just massage the crap out of it. It's fun to do to your spouse because it really hurts. So, but it makes the headache go away.
Yeah.
My wife loves doing it to me because it's funny to see a grown man wincing in pain, right? So but I get her back every once in a while, and she gets more headaches than me, so I win in the end.
I mean, the only headaches I get are due to pretty much dehydration. I could take a headache, almost 100% ever headaches would be just drinking a glass of water with.
Yeah.
But
I haven't had much water today.
Yeah, but half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, increase your electrolytes.
Yes, exactly. That's very good for you. That's yeah. I do that once a week around. I have a good tablespoon of that once a week.
Yeah.
You do it much more often, eh?
I very rarely get headaches, but
yeah, it would help my stomach. It really helps my stomach. The baking soda.
Yeah, yeah, and it's it's an alkalizing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I normally get them headaches when I let Triple R up on the panel. I said my headaches occur.
Bless him. Bless him.
Yeah. He needs more than
He's
blessings.
got some energy about him.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just like he's taking the top off a bottle and just poured everything out. From a dizzy height.
Good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some really valid points. It's this is a thing. I love him. I've listened to him, but people that have to shout to be heard. There's something about having to. A good idea doesn't need to be shouted. It can be presented rationally and calmly, and not and at a calm pace, just so it can be absorbed.
Some people talk too fast too. And don't let you catch up to what they're saying. That by the end of some of these wordsmiths will put together a word salad, and by the end of it, all you can do is sit there and bob your head because you lost it from the first 3 words.
Yeah, I agree.
Or another analogy, isn't it? I think I didn't know about this until I think it might be an Australian thing. Is take a tin of beer, take the ring pull out at the top, and then punch a hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
Then it there's no resistance. There's no vacuumous resistance to it, so it just
shotgun. We call it.
What do you call it?
We call it a shotgun.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
It's an American thing then.
Yeah.
That's a Canadian thing.
Hold on, let me get this right. So you remove the pin from the top and you make a hole in the bottom of the can.
That's it.
Yeah.
What you do is you pull the
pin at the same time. What you do is you put a hole in the bottom first, right? Then you put the can in your mouth and open it.
Oh.
And then take your thumb off the hole.
Well, you either or, yeah.
Yeah.
We usually open it when we do it.
Yeah. Adrian, you know how
nice and easy to go.
You know how it glugs out.
Yeah.
It glugs out because the vacuum of space is being replaced with. It needs to the pressure needs to be equalized inside, which is why you get that glug.
Okay.
Whereas if you let the air come in from the top, it can flow straight out the bottom because the air isn't going through the mouthpiece, as it were. The air is coming in through the actual bottom of the can, which is the top.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like free flow, and there's no resistance to that.
Yeah, you can get that beer down in 3 gulps.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the purpose of it.
Yeah,
the purpose of it.
We like our drinking in Canada, and our beer is 5%. So we're a fair bit stronger than American beer. European beers I've seen up to 16%, but they taste like syrup.
Syrup. I mean, I tend to go. I don't drink beer really anymore, but sort of 8%, 9% is because I like flavor. But I drink cider, and I tend to go when I do. If I'm buying a bottle of cider, I'll go for the 8%.
Yeah. I recently made some mead, which was really good, but I like it. I like it at about 4 to 5 days. It hasn't got much alcohol in it, but it's kind of bubbly and fruity flavored.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to keep it at that age, though.
What's that? What's it actually? What's it made from?
Honey and water with some yeast.
Just honey and water. So it's pretty much basically it's like fermented honey.
Yeah, it's like a wine. Yeah.
So like fermented foods. I don't know if everybody's familiar with fermented foods and the health benefits of fermented foods for the.
Cabbage and pickles and
sauerkraut. Yeah. Pretty much anything.
Yeah. I ate a lot of pickles. I like those. So
yeah,
I like pickles.
I got the big 1 gallon jar of pickles I found. So it's going to take me a while to get through that.
Yeah. I think it's one of these. It's one of these things. It's a way to long-term store food for one thing, and what it actually does is it increases the nutritional value of the food, and it also aids with digestion and the flora, fauna of the stomach.
Yeah.
But the benefits of it is these sorts of things are the sorts of things that children should be learning at school, if you ask me. Beyond logarithms and these are fundamental survival.
Will that Emmett? Will that stop the fermentation of the yeast? That'd be cool. Freezer. Okay. Freezer maybe. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Ferment. The fermentation is basically keeping oxygen off of the food source.
Yeah.
It's a really, really simple process, and sauerkraut is your classic.
Yeah, exactly.
Fermented food. But the secret is if you keep the oxygen off of the food, your bacteria, your harmful bacteria can't grow.
Yeah.
And if you can eat, there's two ways to sort of do it. You can
put a little silver in there. I've got colloidal silver. I bet I've put that in a lot of things, and it preserves them for quite a while.
Wow.
Even a spray, like say a lasagna. My wife loves lasagna, but if you take lasagna and spray it with colloidal silver, it'll last a lot longer in the fridge, and it won't grow any bacteria.
Okay. Are we all prepared for no electricity?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live in an apartment, and you wouldn't, it's hard. You think it would be hard in an apartment, but it's not. I've got a bunch of, they're called Sterno cans. They're an alcohol gel that you can burn for cooking and heat. I got cases of those. Got lots of food, got ways to cook. Got lots of water nearby. I live by a Great Lake, so if I ever needed to go get water, not really a big problem.
Yeah.
And there's gravity-fed water systems here. So,
yeah. I mean, think of the worst, hope for the best. The worst they can do is take away the food, take away the water.
Yeah. I've got peanut butter sandwiches to last a couple of years. At least the stuff to make it,
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a lot of yeast extracts, a lot like your Marmite, stuff like that, which is for vegans is a source of vitamin B12, which apparently is we're all deficient.
Oh yeah, don't the fermented vegetables, don't they have a lot of vitamin C in them too? What do you think of grounding pads? Love them, Desert Rose.
Hooks to the feet. Yeah. I mean, these are really simple survival things. That, again, like I say, these should be, if it wasn't left up to the indoctrination system, because if you go back to the pioneers of America, how on earth did they survive traveling the plains to get from east to west? They're sort of into dried meats. But those sorts of things, dried pulses.
Yeah, I've got a lot of canned meats. I don't have a lot of dried meats. I know they're going to be infested with plastics, but it's for emergencies. So
yeah, ultimately it's just staying alive as long as possible if you want to stay alive.
Yeah,
so
right. Don't forget vitamins too, guys. Stock up on vitamins. Get like a year's worth of vitamins. You're going to take them anyway, right?
Here's one you might know or you might not.
Medications,
stinging nettles.
Medications.
Stinging nettles.
Stinging nettles. Yeah.
Yeah. There's by weight, pound for pound, there's more vitamin C in stinging nettles than there are in oranges. So if you've got a pound of stinging nettles, the health benefits of stinging nettles are beyond what I can, give. It's just so nutritious. But the same with dandelions. The whole of a dandelion.
Yeah.
Bacterial.
Hey, we should teach the homeless how to do that. How to forage for food and eat it properly.
Yeah.
In my area, we've got a huge marsh with a lot of cattails and stuff like that. A lot of grasses, a lot of weeds. Be a lot of food in there.
Yeah. This is how the system is.
dandelion is a classic weed that everybody overlooks.
And this is the thing. What is a weed? A weed is something that is you don't want in your garden, for example. But this is the thing. The flowers of a dandelion are edible. The stalks of the dandelion are edible, and that white sap that comes out. Now we were indoctrinated with, oh, if you touch that, you'll wee the bed, okay? Which is a load of bullshit.
I never heard that. No.
Haven't you never heard that?
No.
I have. Yeah, we were always told don't touch that white stuff, but apparently it will get rid of warts.
We used to play with the milk and
it's the milk.
Rub the dandelions on each other's faces and blow the seeds at each other. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the leaves, you can eat the leaves and the root. I've got it's like sort of like a coffee substitute, a roast coffee substitute. It doesn't taste like coffee, but I produce my own dried roasted dandelion root.
Yeah.
The health benefits are beyond what I can rattle off now. But
I made my own rosehip tea once. It's easy to do. There's lots of roses around that have those red berries in the fall.
Yeah.
And you go collect those, you crunch them up and roast them.
Yeah.
Great.
We don't even need to roast them. If you just steep them.
Yeah, you can.
Dry them out for long-term storage or get them fresh because they're very sweet.
Yeah, that makes a very light, fruity kind of tea.
Absolutely,
If you want like an orange pico tea, you roast it and it becomes like a red rose or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good stuff.
This is how the system has worked. Okay. Now, we're all familiar with the nefarious nature of Monsanto. Okay.
Yeah.
And Monsanto have developed Roundup, and in all their advertising, they use the classic weed that they want to destroy from people's lives as the dandelion, which is one of the most beneficial plants on God's earth, is the dandelion. And they've done the same. I've got I'm in the process of editing together a video on stinging nettles because I cultivate them on my allotment. But I did come across some old adverts from Monsanto and Roundup. And they used the dandelion, which is, like I say, it's like leading people to blindness, isn't it? If you stick it on the television in an advert and class something as a weed,
I.B. Freeman. Yeah.
Most people are going to say, well, yeah, it is a weed.
Yeah. The definition of weed is any unwanted plant or flower. So
that's it.
Yeah. If you didn't like roses, they'd be a weed to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't like sprouts, then I mean, I think we're at this point. We're at this point now where the world needs to be re-educated. So, and I mentioned about regression. We just need to go back to the days of the pioneer. Go back to the days of like the Second World War, when loans, food not loans, or dig for victory, and things like this. Where communities did actually come together and the communal gardens were in use, where people shared food. Neighbors wouldn't just watch their other neighbors starve. It was I call it the good old days, and a lot of people say, well, we had scurvy and wars. Now, the good old days were the fact that communities and people acted as one together. And there are very few
the
people
victory gardens and all that. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. And we're going back to the days when rationing was a thing.
Yeah, but even that was all put on. Pretty much it was put on to the people by the bankers. Unfortunately.
Probably, yeah.
It's a manipulation, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, since the First World War, we really, and even before, none of these wars really are benefiting for the people. The people always end up dying, and their lives end up worse. And the people that fund the wars end up making out like thieves and continue the process over and over again. That's one thing people are starting to wake up to, and it's horrible for people who are veterans to have to wake up to that. They were put to war for money, you know.
Well, they were actually used, yeah. And another thing about wars is, and probably one of the most important things, is what it does. It takes the fittest, and I'll say the most righteous of people, because these veterans are going to war under the illusion that what they're actually trying to do is attain peace, which is totally wrong. But what it actually does, it depletes nations of like the fittest workers.
Hey, Rand James.
You know,
of course.
Yeah.
It creates orphans. It creates widows, and you know, and things like that. But primarily, what it does, it takes away the
visions of every kind. Yeah.
It takes away it takes away the people that will defend that country or that community.
Right.
So the way I see it is, there's, you know, wars are a multifaceted element, really. And if the military and the police are pretty much the same. If those were the ones that we could wake up, and they would actually stand up for your common law justice, and realize that they've actually been duped.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, I think that, you know, it's changing the perception of the military.
That's got to happen from the lower ranks to the upper. Unfortunately, that's the way that's going to have to go.
Yeah.
And
but hey, Rich,
yes,
the way I see war is, right, it's like people think it's for a good cause, right? But it's really for someone else's cause at the end of the day.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
I feel like the energy that is behind the war, right, is nothing to do with money. There's a different motive behind it, right? I think that's another agenda of depopulation when it comes to the war, right?
Yeah.
And even with the people that, you know, are left shell-shocked with the war, their minds are, you know, non-functioning anymore to the society. They're kind of outcasted in this society. So overall, the war is like a big no-no, in my opinion. There's no good cause that comes with it. You're not fighting for anything that is dearly to you, right? Nothing dearly to you. You're just following someone else's orders that don't even acknowledge you personally.
Absolutely. I mean, all you've got to do is look at the number of homeless veterans.
Yeah.
You know, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, it's not something. It's something that should be at the pinnacle, along with homelessness in general. Should be at the pinnacle of your politicians' agenda.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the thing is, if those at the top should be helping those at the bottom, really.
Yeah.
And your value as an influencer and an authority is judged by those at the bottom of your authority. That's the way I see it. You know. So while there's homelessness, while there's poverty, while there's illness, even illness.
Yeah, well, mental illness, they closed down the asylums in Canada pretty much. They, you know, now they want everybody out on the street, you know, interacting with the public, which is good in a way. But if some of these people aren't taking their medications, it ends up bad.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, the thing about, because I've worked with the homeless for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I still do outreach, like a freelance outreacher. But I mean, people have this idea that, okay, well, you go and live in that house there, and that's the end of it. There's no long term remedy given. People just see it as, right, okay, you're homeless, there's a house. The biggest problem that homeless people have is the state of their minds, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what they've actually become accustomed to is not paying bills, you know, even hoovering up the kitchen or hoovering up the lounge, or, you know, just doing simple tasks that most people know how to do. So it's being re-educated in how to live, plus dealing with all the anxiety and the stress and the depression that comes with being homeless, and not wanting to wake up tomorrow, and then having to deal with substance abuse issues.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week. The prevalence of fentanyl in Canada and the U.S. now.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's a massive issue.
You know, the mental illness is going rampant because they're not offering any type of therapies. They're offering guttural solutions. You know.
Yeah. And you mentioned
the agenda.
Yeah, you mentioned about putting them back into the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the public domain is not the best place for anybody to go to, even those of right mind. It's not the best place to go into just because of the state of the public, the state of the mind of the public. Really, it's a selfish, hate-filled. You know, you'd be lucky if you actually found people that actually genuinely care enough to spend time. You know, at the end of the day, the time is the most important thing. The patience and the time out in the community. So, you know, just release somebody into public, whether they're on medications or not. It's not really, before they're ready, it's not really a benefit.
Yeah.
Because
halfway houses are a good thing too for them, you know, where they can learn their independence and, you know, do a progression. I've seen that work quite well.
That's it.
You know, but we're not doing that anymore. It's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's all up to private enterprise. In my town, we've got where I work, it's called Open Door, and they provide like I'll call it daycare, but they provide breakfast and lunches and showers and laundry. It's a charitable organisation. And then there's a business that actually houses. They've got this. It's like a knock-through. Couple of massive Victorian houses that have been knocked through. They've got 65 rooms.
Yeah.
In this building, and they pretty much cram in 65 people. Okay, so they've got like a professional canteen, etc. But they're putting one person that has an addiction to a substance next door to another person that has an addiction to a different substance that has anger management issues. So you've got this it's like a bomb.
Yeah.
Of all these different issues. You know, if you want to get off a specific substance, but it's like, you know, if you want to give up drinking, the best place to not go is the pub.
Yeah.
What?
So what
No way. No way.
You know, but so what they've actually done is they put people in right in the heart of the problem, which is where the supply is going to be at least somewhere, because not everybody wants to get off. You know, and most people that I know a lot of people that I know have actually been coerced into using substances just because a lot of them don't want to wake up tomorrow, so they don't really care, just because the future does not look bright. You know,
we were talking about the escapism last weekend. Of it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably the biggest issue. It's probably the biggest issue, actually, the homelessness crisis, because it encompasses so much. You know, people have become homeless because of, you know, they don't fit in with the parents. So I got friends that.
Desert Rose brings up a good point. I don't know if it's true. She says fentanyl can prepare some organs for transplant. You know, so if you've got the homeless all on fentanyl, you've got a full resource of transplants available. You know, just start harvesting. I have heard of some of the homeless going missing, but mostly up here they're just getting murdered. But with the MAID system we have here, have you heard of that? The assisted suicide? Medical assistance in suicide. So they call it.
Are you in Canada, Max?
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of that then. Yeah.
Instead of MAD, like it should be, because they added the word "in," so it's medical assistance in suicide instead of medically assisted suicide, which is, you know, more accurate. But yeah, they're actually selling organs from these people.
Wow.
And making a profit off it.
Yeah.
They've made a buttload of money, I've heard. Whether that information is accurate, I don't know, but that sounds like something they would do. You know?
Well, using a bit of intuition and common sense and understanding,
It's got to be profitable, right?
Broad agenda is, if we go back to Kissinger's useless eaters, if you're not paying taxes into the system, the war machine, you are a useless eater. So once you become pensionable age, you're a burden. Once you become homeless and or jobless, you're a burden on that system. So the elderly, they don't care about them. In fact, actually, having the elderly around is a detriment, because it's the elderly that have got the experience of a bygone eras and how things used to be.
No is correct here. They said being poor is an acceptable reason to opt for assisted suicide. In Canada, they were actually promoting this man to try to do it. Giving him the option to do it and offering that as a solution, because he didn't have enough money to survive. His rent was going up and he couldn't find a place anywhere that he could afford to live, and he can't live on the street because of his condition. He would die out there. He eventually got GoFundMe and people helped him out, but that was the power of the people helping him out, and he didn't have to kill himself.
Yeah.
But that's what they're doing. They even there was an Olympic swimmer, a Paralympic swimmer in Canada, apparently, that was asking the Canadian government for help in getting a chairlift for her stairs in her house that she owns. So she can go up to her bedroom and get ready for the job she does that pays taxes. And they said, well, that'll take months. Have you considered killing yourself?
Wow.
This is the kind of thing we're dealing with up here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you break up with your boyfriend and you're upset? Come on by. A friend of me sent me a document that shows that it pretty much a pharmacist or your best friend, given the pharmacist okay, can administer these drugs. It's not anything complicated. It's a few pills. And off you go.
Yeah.
What
about this one? Doctor, I've hit my thumb with a hammer. Have you considered assisting? And it hurts. Have you considered assisting?
Everyone say hi to people coming into chat. It's gotten ridiculous.
Time made that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, time or Timmy, wars kill off the brightest and the best of population.
Yep, exactly.
Which is, that should be just that simple sentence should be able to be used to turn the minds of A, the military, and B, the people. And when I say the military, I include the police in that.
Yeah.
And I know it's a difficult position because they are, they're not allowed to have opinions on government anyway. I don't think they're allowed to have.
They've been working on our police steadily right now, because at the beginning of their of the pandemic, they asked the police to stop and search people walking, and they refused.
Yeah.
That was one saving grace we had in Canada.
Yeah.
Was our police refused to go along. Now I imagine they've been steadily working at getting rid of those that will not follow that ideology in the future.
Yeah.
But they're still there. So, a lot of the higher ups that were for that position are still in their positions. So the stop and search in Canada is going to be a hard one to get to. That'll take a lot of time. It'll take many years. Whereas in the Australian police just were down for that, completely.
Oh, that was diabolical, that.
I saw videos of them going by with, cannons with pepper spray on tops of trucks with a loudspeaker telling people to stay in their houses, don't come out. And if you opened up your front door, they sprayed you down.
Yeah.
People with rubber bullets in their bodies. One guy had 26 rubber bullets in his back. Those things do go into you. They don't kill you, but they go in. Well, they can kill you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was sickening, really, to watch.
Yeah, you know, and that's the future they envision. Well, no wonder they're having to use robot dogs, because it's also for the people that anybody with a conscience over time, that eats away at their conscience, and they end up with being traumatized themselves.
That's the long term. That's the long term hell. I think is the realization on the conscience. You know, like you get, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that and said that, and things that do play heavy on the mind. They can do.
Yeah.
Once.
That's why in Canada, when they did the truckers, when they went after the truckers in our capital, what they did was they sent 3 waves of officers. They'd send one wave, they'd bat down a few people, and then they'd back off and send in another wave, so that it wasn't as traumatizing on the officers.
Yeah, it's clever stuff, but it's very, very well thought out. But this is what they've been doing. All these social experiments, even the bog roll challenge, the toilet roll challenge. For me, that was the last social experiment before they released. Just to see the reaction of the public. Everybody was.
Oh yeah, the shortage of toilet paper. Yeah,
that was it. Which was just a myth, really. It was just just somebody. One of the influencers had gone out and said, "Here, there's a toilet roll shortage."
Yeah,
but
false scarcity. That's something I've been raging about for years. Is false scarcity. Our planet is abundant. You know.
That experiment, what it actually revealed, it revealed the true nature of the human being at this present time, which is selfishness, greed, stupidity, and just being susceptible to just any old narrative that's put out there without using intuition and thinking, well, the same with Pokemon. You know the Pokemon thing? People were going around following a signal. That was to me, that was another social experiment, just to see how people react to these, just chasing around, spending your time chasing nothing, really. There's no reward apart from a virtual digital I don't know, whatever it was, I don't know what it was all about, really. But all these things they're pretty much judging the state of society worldwide, because these are worldwide events. These are things that took the world by storm.
They're experimenting on us right now, right? Tothment and Ratopia. Have you seen those experiments?
Ratopia?
They give the rats all the food and space that they need, and then they let them go and populate and deal with each other and stuff. And it ends up in a total dystopia in many cases. But I would like to point out we are not rats and have a much better communication system. But there are many things to be learned from that experiment, Toth. But we are not rats. So I hope that we would rise to a little bit of a higher level of a society than a bunch of rats do. But you never know. Maybe we are just as bad as rats.
Well, we're commonly referred to as in the rat race.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
somebody put that out.
And they do. It is kind of, if you look at the rat experiments, it is actually kind of set up. You can look at analogies in our society quite easily. There are like these ultra-preener rats that just spend all their time, taking care of their fur. They get fat, and then there are the breeders, and then there are the alpha males and the beta males. They have all these analogies for our society in this rat experiment. And it's really interesting to watch them as they, the society evolves and practically eats itself and ends up in this total dystopia.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, if you got two starving rats, would one of them eat the other?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Yep.
There you go, then.
Yep.
I've seen them do it of mice do these things as well.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Cruelly, he got rats, and then he got a couple rats, and then he had a ton of rats, and he just couldn't keep feeding them because there were so many of them. and he stopped feeding them, and then he ended up with one rat, and he let him loose.
One rat.
Yeah,
It was kind of cruel. But,
6 foot high.
Yeah, he was a pretty big rat.
Weighed 200 kilos.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
But, you know,
it was a
it's
cruel thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. But the rat race, it's, you know, they put these things out there. This is a very clever think tank that has actually put these expressions out. You know, even like there's lots of expression. Keeping up with the Joneses. You know, what they've introduced there is they've introduced that consumerism element.
Yeah.
Just lots and lots of these. You've got to think, well, where did that come from? Because I know there was a TV program, I think it was a sitcom in England or in Britain called Keeping Up with the Joneses. And it's introducing that consumerism as being, you know, part of our nature, really, just by, you know, just putting these little expressions out there. So it's a very, very clever system. But are we cleverer if we can see it?
Well, I think if the facade breaks and it's being done, we know who's pulling it off. That's why in a lot of countries where they are bringing out like the CBD, the central bank digital currency, people aren't accepting it. They aren't accepting the 15-minute cities. In my city, we've refused quite a few things. They're onto the sexuality being taught in the school.
Good.
They refused critical race theory and masking in the schools. So there is pushback, at least in my city. I live right beside. I live in one of the most leftist parts of the country, but this city is actually more of a workers' city, so a workers' party type city instead of a left or right. So they do their own thing, kind of separate from the rest of the country. But we live right next to the biggest progressive city in Canada, Toronto, and GTA. It's a huge area, but it's entirely progressive, all going with the plan. It was to be one of the first smart cities, but fortunately, they couldn't come up with the funding for it.
Okay. What about this is an idea though, Max? What they're actually doing is they're creating or allowing these little enclaves of freedom to be developed so that people move to these areas.
Yeah.
And then once it's AKA corralling. So when you've got everybody in this one place, I think there's like states in America where they're all, you know, a lot of them are different. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but
yeah, we've got Alberta in Canada that's like Texas. They carry guns because of the wildlife there.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of farm areas and stuff like that. So you need a gun often, you know, especially if you go camping or that, you've got to take a gun because there's bears and wildcats and stuff, you know. But out here where I live, it's all city and farm. So all the wildlife's pretty much been driven out.
That's no fun.
Yeah. So yeah, but they're experimenting all over the place still, which is horrible. Like we're having out east apparently 10-minute cities. Hopefully they don't go over well there, but I haven't heard any bad news out of there. So but it's probably heavily censored. It's on an island in Canada, so that's convenient that it's, you know, out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's this?
You'll just eat the bugs. Good for you, Desert Rose.
Did I miss something? Someone say something about bugs?
Oh, Desert Rose. She's going to eat the bugs. She's okay with it.
Has anybody on this panel or chat room ever eaten bugs?
No. Have you?
I think a beetle when I was about 7.
Oh, I've eaten a fly by accident. It went right down my throat. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even get to chew it.
I imagine we've all swallowed a. I know an old lady who swallowed a
Apparently,
fly.
you'll eat 11 spiders by the time you die. 11 or 12 spiders will crawl through your mouth, and you'll just chew them up in your sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it'll be teeny tiny ants. I've probably eaten a few thousand of them.
Yeah.
A few thousand.
They're everywhere. They're like microscopic too. They're like about a millimeter or two long, and they get between the pages of books. They get everywhere. The other day, I had one crawling in my ear because he was on my headphones. We've just decided to exist and coexist with them, but they just look for water. They don't look for food or anything, so they're pretty easy to deal with.
Hey Max, would you rather be a rat for eternity or an ant for a week?
Oh God, neither.
What happens after the week of being an ant though?
Yeah, I suppose if I'm an ant, I might get reincarnated. So I'd take the ant, I guess.
Yeah.
Just hope you don't come back as a rat.
Yeah.
A rat for eternity, so you couldn't die, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, but do rats not enjoy their life?
But hang on, a 6-foot rat. You get to be a 6-foot rat.
A 6-foot rat. Then you'll be hunted all your life, right? People will want to hunt down the monster rat. You can't be killed, so they'll just cage you and keep you as a carnival freak for eternity.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sideshow.
Yeah. That's a horrible existence. No, I don't want to be a rat. Chocolate crickets. Oh, my cat actually, I'm very proud of her. She caught a fly today, ate them. My other cat, he likes to eat the silverfish and other beetles that come into the house and stuff. So I've got my bugs pretty much taken care of. The microscopic ants they leave alone, but
the thing about
moths. Wow.
The thing about ants is though they've got seem to have the perfect social construct.
Yep. To a degree, you're right.
Really, the hive mind of the ants, though, right? It's like a hive mind. You don't. The individual ant doesn't consider himself or his life any separate from the next ant in his hive. They give up their lives in a second, unless they're fighting a foe.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know, if this is the task, this is what I do. I don't consider it. I don't second guess it. If I have to be the one that dies spanning across the water, that's what I do. You know,
absolutely, yeah. Die defending the nest, and is that learned or is that?
I think it's a hive mind. The hive mind of the ants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to in my youth. Apparently, you can talk to a hive and communicate with it. You can communicate with the individual ant as well, but you can also communicate with the hive.
I mean, even the ones. Have you ever seen those ants, right, that are stranded? Well, not stranded, but you just see them walking singular by themselves. What do you think's up with that? Do you think that's wandered away from home, or do you think there's something deeper than that?
I don't know. Could have gotten lost. Could be striking out on their own if it's a female.
Okay, gotcha. Scout. That makes sense. You know, that would make sense.
Scouts, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we got tons of scouts.
Yeah, that's. Do you know what? You're totally right, because I remember being young actually, and we used to, like, you know, pour a juice on the floor or something. One ant would come and investigate. He disappears, and he comes back with all his friends. So, yeah, you're right.
They're clever at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clever.
And if you've got an ant in your house, don't kill it. in your house because you'll end up with about 2 million that comes to his funeral.
Yeah, oh shit.
Right. They're like demons. You scatter away one, and 70 of his friends come back with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, cow's tongue was delicious, Desert Rose. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know, it's life. It has a purpose. You know, it should be respected. It's, you know, it's like the humble bumblebee. The humble, you know, without the bumblebee, you know, who would pollinate?
Hey, Rich.
Yes, bro.
Did you used to do this when you was younger, right? If you want to get the spider out of his cave, you used to throw an ant on the nest, the spider web.
Yeah.
You used to do that as well. Yeah.
That was in what do you call it? Like childhood curiosity, I think.
Yeah. There you go.
Really,
we used to love it. And I tell you another thing we used to do. We used to wait until the bumblebee would land on the flower and go into the flower to collect the pollen, and we would get a bottle at the end of the flower, so when it comes back out of the flower it goes straight into the bottle, and we used to have like 20 bees in one bottle just buzzing around. Mental.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that now though.
The bees actually love me right now. The bees and the wasps, they hang around me all day when I go on break. I end up with a few. I had a few try to make a nest in my ear. That was kind of a problem.
Wow.
How long is this? 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But they're very friendly, you know.
Oh,
which is cool.
I mean, it's going back to intent, I think, to a degree, Max. And you know, what energy are we giving off with our intent, our intentions? And if you're exuding love and acceptance and wanting to be at one with everything around you, that's natural, nature, you know, perhaps it's one of those things that, you know, they got this extra sensory perception of being able to feel danger and feel
aggression,
feel aggression, feel hatred, feel
and
ill
know
intent,
when somebody's calm.
And somebody mentioned this the other night. I think it was, I can't remember who it was. I heard somebody mention about rice, and if you put rice in, get 2 glasses and you put rice in one and rice in the other with water, and you write love on one glass and you write hate on one glass, and every day you go up to the glass with love on it and you just show it some love, and then the other glass you show it a lot of hate, the hate glass goes moldy. Now, whether that's, have you heard it? Have you?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've heard it. I had
have
someone.
you seen Dr. Emoto's water experiments?
That's it. That's the guy's name.
Is that the one? Is it?
Yeah, look that up. Dr. Emoto's water experiments. He does the same experiment that you're talking about, and then he crystallizes the water, and the crystals patterns either end up beautiful or ugly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it shows. Even with plants, you can do that. Growing plants, we know the power of that. That's why I always thank my water before I drink it. Thank my food.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. Thanks.
It's going to be healthier for you, for one, and hopefully it becomes part of you and continues on your journey with good health.
And there is a bit of a coincidence with what you've just said and what is written on that video, resounding love.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of a musical interlude for us here.
The synergy is so high. I'm going to take 2 minutes.
That's got a good feel to it. The audio, the vocals are pretty good there. like for hearing them.
For you.
Yeah, love is the answer, absolutely.
For me. Time don't wait for me at home. I tell you it's the midnight show. As I drift into the sleeping Vixen show. Run, no, no, I do not know.
Did he learn?
I follow you.
Got a great feel to it. Here's the writer and singer of the song. Cool.
Wherever you go, I go. Wherever you go, I go. Wherever you go, I go. One that I play.
Give me a chance to roll the smoke. Bees love weed. That is one thing I've noticed is the bees might be after the smoke. Put a little pot in my smoke, and they seem to like that.
The bees like what, Max?
They like a little pot. They like a little pot in the smoke. I've had them actually fly through the smoke and land on me, crawl around, go for another puff.
There's no one home.
I wonder if they get the munchies.
Yeah, I think they do, because then they're after my donuts, right? They want the sugary donuts. Or my coffee. They like that sometimes. They'll crawl around my coffee, take a sip. That gets them all hyper, and then they're hard to control.
Hey, well done, Isabella.
Nice done.
That was wicked,
like
mate.
That.
That was good stuff. Good stuff. Nice and calmness. Salutes to you, bro. Salutes.
Beautiful stuff.
Good
Yeah, he's
stuff.
got quite a few songs produced. I still have to get some of those. We're allowed to play those if you guys. At least I think so. If you want to use them, he's got some produced. He's got a good one. What was the Flipper Babies in Ohio? That was a good one. From about the Ohio train crash, where they spilt all the chemicals. So now they're going to have Flipper Babies in Ohio.
Oh no, flipper babies. And they didn't have to come from Atlantis.
Right? Just
man
mutated by
from
all the
Atlantis.
chemical spills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, in class, we predicted possibly something happening in Kentucky soon. Another spill of some sort, maybe a rail spill or something like that. So we'll see if something happens there. The idea is if we can get ahead of these things and bring them out before they're done. I know there's other ways, like if you can get a hold of the shipping orders for like different chemicals, you can put them together and come up with deadly concoctions that could likely be used. We're trying to use the third eye to do that and get ahead of the game, bring out what they're going to do before they do it, so that we can call it out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody produced a map of
A
these
map?
incidents? Yeah, like a map of America where these incidents are taking place.
There's Z maps that has the food production fires. I don't know about one for the spills of that sort. There's been trucking accidents as well recently.
Yeah.
So they're using all forms of conveyance and chemical distribution.
Yeah.
Seeming to blanket the U.S. in chemicals. So.
Yeah.
Chemical warfare on the U.S.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's what it seems to be. That's what it seems to be. And I mean, I think it was about 18,000 cows or 180,000 cows burned alive in a recent fire.
What?
180,000 cows at a dairy. I think it was just like a
Damn.
Oh wow.
Didn't you hear of that?
No.
No, what in the UK? That in the UK, is it?
No, in America somewhere.
Oh.
But the cloud plume was, again, it was just, you know, polluting the air with who knows what. Yeah, it was 100. I think it was 180,000 cows, or 18,000 cows. 18,000 in Texas, was it? Desert Rose said. All burnt alive in a barn, massive barn.
Oh, I think I did hear something about that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I wonder what they did to the bodies of them.
Well, they probably put them in the protein vats. They've got new protein vats now where they can put any material and end up with a protein slurry at the bottom.
Mm.
Isn't that
Or they
lovely?
they can give it to McDonald's for half price.
Well, yeah, then they can put it in food. You
Yeah.
gather the slurry out of the bottom and you can, it's just pure protein of whatever you put in there. And you
Slurry,
can,
ugh.
yeah,
Get a straw.
dry it out and make patties out of it. You know,
Yeah.
put it in tacos.
Yeah.
You know, make chips out of it. Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got the Soylent Green, the movie Soylent Green.
Yeah.
Which was set in 2022. So if that is a predictive programming movie,
yep,
and we're into 2023, that all came to pass last year. So it's already, you know, the
vats are in place. You know?
Well, they may even have already used it because, you know, that film 2022 was the date, wasn't it? So maybe the food chain had already had the introduction of human.
Yeah, there's been a recent. I think they've gotten the new proteins into some burgers my wife bought because I can't eat them, and there was other things at the beginning of the pandemic. There, the flour changed in the restaurants. There was a change in the flour. It would dry out much quicker, and it had a different texture, a much coarser texture. So it's something else other than what they were using. They changed the content.
Yeah.
So it could be that they're adding proteins to it.
Now, can you remember that Beirut port explosion in Lebanon?
Yep.
I forget the year. Now,
Yep.
to me, it was just a little bit of hindsight, but it didn't take long for it to.
That was where they practiced using the rod of God, right? At least that's what the video kind of shows.
Apparently, yeah. But what it actually was well, I might be dipping out here. No, am I still here? Yeah.
Yeah, you're still here.
They had the silos, which was your wheat, and Lebanon got most of their wheat. I think they got like 2/3 of their wheat from Ukraine.
Yeah.
And the explosion was caused by ammonium nitrate that was owned by Russia. It's been in that port for years, hasn't it? Now, anybody that knows anything about ammonium nitrate, that stuff should really, and in such quantity, that stuff should really be stored, safer than it was, really.
Yeah.
But when that went up, to me, that was an attack on the food. I seen that as an attack on the food, and it wasn't until I'd done a bit of research into where, like Lebanon got got their grain from. I think there was a huge, it's like 1/3 of the country's grain stored went up just in that one explosion.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's devastating.
But the fact that it was most of their grain comes from the Ukraine, and the explosion was Russian.
Yeah.
Again, as things have transpired, is there a coincidence or an irony, or just, is there anything to it? Was that messaging? Well, that to me was a starting gun for the attack on the food chain, the worldwide food chain.
Well, we can see it continuing because the Z Maps has places in Europe, large distribution places in Europe, food distribution, food production. They're all being hit.
Yeah.
All over. It's horrible. And the land too. Like you say, it'd be great if they had maps with these spills on them, in which direction the wind was blowing and which way the waters are taking it.
Yeah.
So far, what it looks like, because I'm just above the States, most of the watershed is going down through the middle of the States right now from all these spills.
Yeah.
So they're really attacking the States. Canada has been attacked, but not nearly as bad. It's like they want to keep some areas unpolluted in North America. And Canada's been a big sellout for the WEF and that. So we have a prime minister who went to the Davos Academy, deputy prime minister that went to the Davos Academy and is on the board of the World Economic or WEF or the World. So who are you beholden to? Because I'm sure they pay her a lot more at the WEF than they pay from our government.
Yeah.
So whose bidding are you going to be doing here?
Yeah.
That's a complete conflict of interest right there and should be called out, and she should be recused of her position for being beholden to two entities.
That Beirut explosion was in 2020, oddly enough.
Was it?
Well, actually, I've got a file, and because I've recorded every bit of footage I can actually find on it, and
that would put stress on the food supply worldwide because there'd have to be an influx of food from outside sources too, right? So.
Oh, of course. And what the other thing it actually did was it garnered international aid. So all these countries, including America,
they love their aid money.
Absolutely, yeah.
Jesus.
It opened up Lebanon to foreign infiltration. Really, just
Yeah, I was actually working for a fundraising company during the Haiti the storm in Haiti. Yeah, and they made a bundle off of that, Hillary and all those guys. Yeah, that's terrible. Oh, God. Yeah, aid money. Yeah, in what was it? They spent 24 million or 14 or 24 million building a gas station in the Ukraine recently. And it wasn't really a highfalutin gas station, just some pumps and a little kiosk and an awning, and that was it. $24 million they spent on that. It's military style spending, but you know where that money goes, into bags of money, little paper bags, and then people get caught crossing the border, like that one Russian official caught with a big bag of money. And then there's what's his name, Charles there.
Our Charles.
What was the quote? Well, yeah, he was passing money back and forth with somebody, and they said, "Well, that's just normal. That's what we do." It's like, oh, okay, and everybody just accepts that. Okay, you guys just hand each other big bags of money, and that's how it works, right? It's like. So they're pretty much putting it right out in the open. We're at the end game pretty much, but like I say, hopefully there's enough pockets of resistance, and once these people wake up, hopefully, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it was August the 4th, 2020. That explosion.
It's a waiting game.
What's that?
I say it's like a waiting game.
Yeah, it is. Well, we still have the battle. We're fighting, right? As long as you're making noise about all this and putting out the word, and hopefully changing one mind, or giving somebody something to say to somebody else, and we're putting out the energy there too. So
that's the thing.
The energy is important for the 100th monkey effect, if you want to think of it that way. But the collective unconscious, we affect that on a scale. And those of us who may have practiced our third eye and have worked on ourselves, maybe we have a better effect. I hope,
Well, if we understand aura and energy, how it can affect and influence. Can I tell you this little story? I was with a friend. This was like about 2 o'clock in the morning. We'd had a few doobies, had a few glasses of cider. And so anyway, we went out for a walk. It might have been about 2 o'clock in the morning. So we gone out for a walk in the town, and we gone down to this small park, this local park. We sat there. So I was sat there rolling a cigarette, and my friend. Somebody was already in the park, a friend of my friends, and this other guy was like pissed, and we started play fighting with my mate.
Yeah,
and it got a little bit. But this guy, because he was pissed, he got a little bit boisterous, and it got a little bit heavy. So anyway, this guy turned around and he stood out. I was sat on a bench, just rolling a fag, and he turned around. He stood right in front of me, almost stood on my toes. With his, with his chest all puffed out, and he's saying, "I carried on." I just looked at him. He was, he was sort of ready. He looked like ready. He's ready to give me an uppercut. And I looked at him and I said, "You fight me, you fight God." And he laughed. He smiled. He said, "I like that." He wandered off. But this guy was ready to punch my head off.
Yeah.
But I said to him, "You fight me, you fight God." It come out of nowhere.
Nice.
I haven't written it down anywhere to say, well, if I ever get in this situation, I'm going to say this. It's not part of. It's not a scripted thing. It just came out.
It just came to you. Yeah, that's the intuition, right? The intuition
I
we're
wasn't
seeking.
Absolutely, but I was in no fear. But why would I? Where did that? What I put a reliance there on God. I used the word.
Yeah.
And it totally different. And the guy just wandered off, hopefully in a better mood. He smiled and he said, "Oh, I like that," and he smiled, and then off he wandered. So it totally it was like, "You fight me, you fight God." That was 6 words.
Yeah.
It totally diffused.
That's awesome.
hatred and aggression. It was awesome. Absolutely was awesome. And this is,
right.
I sort of mentioned about, you know, I said, what, God Save the Homeless. What about God Save the Queen? What about God Save the Homeless? I mentioned it last night in yours, Adrian, your live stream. And
yeah, I remember
it's
that.
just these little nuggets. And I think, wow,
yeah,
you know, how can I not continue in the vein that I'm continuing?
Oh, on that note, we have a viewer who won't be in class tonight, Marlena. Her mother, she's taking care of her mother. She broke her hip. Marlena is asking for us to wish her mother a speedy recovery. Take a moment and send some loving and healing energy to Marlena's mom, so she can make it back to class next weekend.
Lovely. Yeah.
So
Good
close
stuff.
your eyes for a moment.
嗯哼
15 seconds and send some love and healing. Much love to you, Marlena's mom.
Marlena's mom. Get well
Marlena's
soon.
mom.
Get well soon.
Marlena's mom.
Thank you, guys. Much
Get
appreciated.
well soon. Get well soon. Marlena's mum.
Get well. Good man.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet
stuff.
And
See,
thank
this-
you in chat who participated. Thank
I
you.
got a great connection out of that.
Same here. Same here. Same here. Well called, Max. Just on time. Just on time.
Yeah.
Well, I
See,
thought the speech was appropriate to it, you know, what you were talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Again, it's getting to that, you know, it's like talking hatred or talking love.
Mhm.
You know.
Hey, I got one for you, Rich.
Go on.
I might want to do a panel on it very soon, actually. Have you heard, or even you, Dino, because I know you kind of know the Bible, and even yourself, Max,
Yes.
possibly.
Yeah.
But apparently, right, Jesus never got murdered. It was Judas. We've been told a lie, apparently.
I've
Some
heard
new
some,
scriptures,
yeah.
some new scriptures has been found, apparently, and they've deciphered it.
Yeah, there's one interpretation of the story. If you go back to the the Greek writing of it, Thomas Didymus could have been put on the cross instead of Jesus, and
Yes.
he enters. If you look in the Hebrew, after the crucifixion and the resurrection, Thomas enters also as Jesus. It says in the Greek. It's a very strange way of writing it. It's all confusing in that part.
Yeah.
I have to read it again to remember it, but it kind of leads you to the interpretation that Thomas was crucified, not Jesus.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So when I do set this stream up, hopefully you can come with that bit of information there and add to the build.
Sure. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good man.
Yeah, there's different interpretations too, other than that one, but yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, when I heard that, I was like, "What? Jesus? What? No way! I got to do a build about this one. I have to do a build."
Yeah, I think, like in my ideology of it, Jesus is a power that we have between us. He's the connection, the Christ connection between us and the ether, right?
Yeah.
So when these people speak, say it was John speaking as Jesus, or it was Peter speaking as Jesus, or Mary speaking as Jesus, and these people embodied the Christ within them and spoke as the Christ would speak.
Yeah, I hear that. That would make more sense, to be honest. If looking at it from that point of view, I hear that.
So the stories are written as if the Christ is outside of the people that they're interacting with. But it could be, this is just another interpretation, that they are embodying the Christ and speaking out to the people around them. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I look at Christ or Jesus, whatever you want to call it, as like a personality. You know, like when people got split personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, you might wake up with this spirit of Jesus, but it's like a personality. You know, you love everybody and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah, you
we're
play
all
guitar,
aware.
don't you? Toth plays guitar too, don't you, Toth? I think we were talking about that before.
I'd love to play guitar.
Lots of practice.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and me. Lizzo said, and me.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you look rather? Would you rather the piano or the guitar if you had a choice?
Guitar is much more flexible.
Yeah, and it's easier to carry around.
That too, yeah.
If you want to go busking.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a guitar. It's one string. It's got one string.
One string guitar. Was that a banjo?
No, it's a guitar with one string.
Ah.
Hashtag buy you some strings or what?
Well, I've got this idea. It's got a wobbly neck or handle, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's the one.
It's a didgeridoo.
String. Go on.
Well, there used to be a one or two stringed instrument they used in the old days. Like it was attached to like almost a bowl, big gourd type shaped bowl on the bottom with a long neck. And it only had a couple of strings on it.
But if you look at
like a mandolin.
Yeah.
Well, there's an instrument. I think it's sort of like a Cockney instrument.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tea chest with a broom handle and one string.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the broom handle is like you can tense it. You can alter the tension.
Yeah.
of the
There's
string.
a bucket, tin bucket tool, like instrument
There
like
is-
that too.
There is a channel, Max. You might like this. He's called Brushy One String.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of him?
No.
in the
My
chat.
wife listens to this spoon lady though.
No, just put it in the chat for us. Look at it. Your
Oh!
mind's connected.
Is that chicken in the corn? Is that chicken in the corn now?
Let's have a look. Hold on. One
Chicken in
second.
the. This is a one string.
Yeah,
This is my
it is.
inspiration, really.
It is. It's chicken in the corn.
Is it? It's absolutely.
Yeah.
This guy is pretty phenomenal. What he done with one string. Brushy
that
one
it?
string. Yeah.
Cheers,
String
Noel.
Richie. Okay, let's take a look at One String Richie here. I'll just give it.
Chicken in the corn. I don't practice enough, but I did have this idea of having. I don't know what string that is.
Richie
and
One String, chicken in the corn.
and I've got like the fattest bass.
The only one string guitar right in and around the world. See, I am what I am. I am the I am that I am. Exclusive. Cha! Watch this. Hey. You know my name is Brushy One String, you know. I've been to San Francisco, that's where I see my friend Pancho. He said, hey, One String, there's something you got to know, you know. I said, yeah. While we back on the side, so I know this is where we go. We sing this whole country song like this. Chicken in the corn, on the corn can't grow, mama. Hey, when chicken in the corn, on the corn can't grow. Hey, when chicken in the corn, so the corn can't grow.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, when chicken in the corn, so the corn can't grow. Hey, I'm San Francisco. Yeah, we are with my friend and this damn most natural. Yeah, you say one string, there's something you got to know. On back on saddles and the rasses, where we go with some chicken in the corn, on the corn can grow, mama. Hey, when chicken in the corn can grow. Hey, when chicken in the corn, on the corn can grow, mama. Hey, when chicken in the corn, so the corn can grow. Hey, down need to bread, don't need I can rap before I beat it when I pose to pose. For the music nice, so play them twice. For the bros on street and out like mass. My name is Moshi, I'm a king of swing. Let's rap your music and to let you sing. No, it doesn't really matter what people wanna say. I rap my music, not on there. Rap my music, not on there. Yeah. When chicken corn, so the corn can grow, mama. Yeah, when chicken corn, so the corn can grow. Now, chicken corn, so the corn can grow, mama. Yeah, when chicken corn, so the corn can grow. Yeah. Chicken corn, so the corn can grow, mama. Hey, when chicken corn, so the corn can grow. Yeah, when chicken corn, so the corn can grow, mama. Hey, when chicken corn, so the corn can grow. For the music nice, so we'll play them twice. For the balls are screaming out like mass. My name is Moshi, I'm a king of swing. That's a rapping music and to let you sing. Now it doesn't really matter what people want to say. I rap my music. Not and then, yeah. When chicken in the car, hey, when chicken in the car, get the chicken out your car, y'all. Get the chicken out your car, y'all. Chicken in the car, running on the road.
Great energy at that
That was good energy.
How to bring a community together.
Yeah, brilliant. Salute to that. Nice one, Richard and No.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Who shared that?
That was No said that.
No, yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, No.
Yeah.
Check
was,
out C6 Steve, 3-string Doghouse Blues.
C6 Steve is cool, but he uses 3 strings.
Yeah.
I think he makes his own instruments, C6 Steve.
Oh, excellent.
But
that's wild.
You know what else I've seen? Anyone seen that young? He's a foreign guy. I'm not sure what country, but he does the beatbox type of thing, right? And he's got his dog next to him doing it as well. His dog's helping him do the beatbox.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
no.
that's pretty interesting.
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
the dog looks like it's gonna bite his face off. But where it's his own dog, he knows he knows the limits, you know. But it looks pretty wild, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I was threatening people with that last night to replace the emoji I have of Max with something where he's got his mouth open and his teeth out. Some people, one guy always jokes, he looks like he's mad at me. So yeah, I can see that. That's hilarious. Cigar box guitar. There you go, Lizzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people have made instruments out of all kinds of things. Like I've seen the old from the south in the States, they that's where I got the steel bucket and the broom handle.
Yeah.
Down there. You know, with the big bottle you blow on and you know.
That's it, yeah.
The spoons.
Yeah.
You know,
Even
make up your own.
Even if you look at the triangle, it's just it's just one piece of metal,
right,
and a piece of string and something to hit it with. But or you know, even just a hollowed out log.
Yeah.
But that unifying, because I was sat here bobbing, and you know, there's a certain element of call it vibration there and frequency that just it's just uplifting, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so you know, I think it's one of the secrets to our success in this world and altering people is because music carries a message generally.
Well, yeah, they messed with that too. They took the music tuning from 432 to 440 back in the 30s.
Yeah.
That was done pushed by the Nazi.
Goebbels, I think.
Yeah.
Goebbels, propaganda minister.
What's that you got for us there? Oh, gosh.
That's that thing.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that. I have seen that. Yeah.
Should I press it? Should I go ahead? Do you want to see it still or not?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Is it screen sharing? Is it?
Wow, we've been on here for almost 3.5. Wow.
Is that yours? Oh.
Where's the,
Yeah, just let it play. You can't move it. So I'm gonna take down the comment.
Un, dos, tres, ahora. Un, dos, ¡ay, qué hermoso! Rocky Patita.
No, I think that doggy likes it.
Rocky Patita, Rocky Patita.
He's got his tail wagging.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Dos, tres, ahora. Un, dos, ¡ay, qué hermoso! Rocky Patita. Rocky Patita, Rocky Patita, Rocky Patita, Rocky Patita. Un beso. Rocky, un beso. Rocky, un beso.
There you go.
Awesome. Yeah, I have seen that before. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tripping Ace dog, right?
Play the hound. Yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
Was a composer of that bark.
So you said you're gonna do another stream in a while there.
Yes.
London Man. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I got to take a break. Go get some dinner pretty soon. It's 6 o'clock here.
Oh yes.
Past my dinner time. You guys have been awesome, though.
Oh, it's been a fantastic get together, Max.
Yeah,
definitely.
Listen, Adrian.
Yo.
I mentioned last night about things like morals at the end of a story, like your Enid Blytons and your Aesop's fables. At the end of it, there's a good moral. Okay,
yeah.
To be learned or taught, passed on. What's the moral? Is there a moral ending to questioning the validity of Jesus Christ wasn't murdered? Is it don't believe what you read?
Well, I think it's being, in my opinion, the entire ancient works on the whole are being misrepresented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dear friend who
misinterpreted, misrepresented, and misused.
Yeah. But at the end
Rich,
of it,
I tell you this much, Rich, right? Even though I'm not a religious person, right, but a part in me, right, wants this biblical stuff to be true, apart from the slavery and all the killing and everything. I would like to think, there was somebody out there doing good in a world full of madness.
Yeah.
So part of me would like to think that part was true, minus the killing and all that shit.
Yeah. Well, this is a thing. Personally, I don't class myself as religious.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a book.
Yeah, me neither.
I've got a book, and I've got Jesus Christ to teach me what resonates with me.
Buddha's pretty good too.
Well,
And if I actually ended up with a mishmash of pretty much all of the teachings.
Yeah, but this is the thing. What prophet or Messiah has actually given their life Muhammad didn't give his life to push his message.
Mhm.
How many people are going against Buddha? How many people are going against Muhammad? Why is the only religion that is persecuted Christians? There's got to be something to it. But this is the thing. I don't class
Well,
myself.
it's the clearest connection to the truth, at least linguistically.
Yeah.
Right? Like the other books do teach the same story. It's done in a different way.
Yeah.
That's all.
So
linguistically, and there's a huge, we were discussing this the other day, in our society, there is the ability to think for ourselves and break and have our independent thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And these independent thoughts and reworkings of the ancient texts into being a different story than they're telling us is taking hold. And that's what scares them, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it spawns out of Christianity and the belief in the Bible.
Fundamentally, Adrian, this is the way I see it, is firstly, Boo pointed this out. She said, extract the gold and leave the rest. Okay, from every situation, extract the gold. So whatever works, whatever is gold for you, okay, precious, whatever's precious for you, take that, but leave the rest. Now, we've got an example. Jesus Christ is an example. For those that don't believe he's real, we've given an example of how to live a sin-free life. And if that is what we want to do, there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, I will use Jesus Christ as my teacher, my guide through this life. And then submit to following him and being part of him. But as soon as I did it, bruv, I repented. I was sorry for all the things I'd done that were bad, even bad faults. And I accepted Jesus Christ to be my guide. And I'll tell you, I rose a foot. My stature rose by a foot, and it just came out of nowhere. It wasn't an ego or anything. It was just like a burden had been lifted off my shoulders. And as I've mentioned about certain things that have happened in my life, just because I resigned myself wholly to being part of the body of Christ.
I call that being committed to the way.
Absolutely.
And becoming a seeker.
Absolutely. Being born again. And even if you don't, I don't look at it as a religion, really. I just say, right, I've got a book, I've got a teacher. I choose to learn from that book. If it's been misinterpreted, if it doesn't resonate with me wanting to not be a murderer and not be a thief and not be a sinner, not thinking ill, then I've got a reference manual there that will teach me, and it's so eloquently put, really, that you've just got to admire the way the message is put across. It's just so beautifully put across.
Yeah. I always tell people it was written by man, but enlightened men,
It's intuitive, isn't it? Yeah, it's commonsensical. If you want to get on with your neighbor, and you want to get on with your enemy, this is what you've got to do. Because most of our enemies, they probably never experienced true love. They might have had that bad upbringing. They might have been, peer pressured into doing, really bad things. So, but they don't know any different. And when I said to this guy, "You fight me, you fight God," it was like, boom. How on earth can that diffuse somebody that's going to punch my head off? How can it happen?
Yeah.
And it's just these little testimonies that are it's just little experiences that think, how can I not carry on in this with this train of mind, and aligning myself with what I perceive as to be, if everybody was like Jesus, would there be any wars? No, there wouldn't. There'd be peace.
I've, since following the way, as I call it, or whatever you want to call it, or trying to enlighten myself or whatever, I found nothing but benefit in my life. So,
absolutely,
carry on,
And this is
Definitely.
aligning yourself with God, you know, the goodness of God. That's just the way I see it. But this is the thing. People need to want to change, to come out of this world, to come out of all those, you know, all the insignificant things like consumerism, and you know, have a desire to go back to a simpler way of life where everybody gets on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then just say, listen, just say to God, God, please guide me, help me, be born again. That's why it's called born again. This is what baptism is about. Baptism in water. It's being reborn. As we are in the womb, your waters break and you pop out. Your mum's waters break.
In the spiritual world, they often do what's called shadow work, and they'll have a dark night of the soul, which is very similar to like an awakening or giving yourself over to Christ.
Yeah,
going through your repentance and all that. Yeah, it's exactly the same, really.
Yeah, it's an experience that cannot be conveyed to its full degree of absolute amazingness.
Do you have any last words there, London?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. And salute to the panel and the chat room. I see Chuck down there. Salute to Chuck. Better late than never.
Thanks, Chuck.
And Rich, my details is in the back chat for you. You know, so it's more.
You're going to do a show later. You want to put your link in?
No. It's not today, Max. The show ain't today.
Oh, okay.
It's not today. But I've left my contact number for Richard. So it's more of a how would you call it? A faster connection for me and Richard if you want to, you know, start a stream up or something.
I got you, my friend. I'm just going to copy it down now. I'll send you a hello.
There you go.
Oh, honestly, you know, the synergy that happens is happening.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Hey,
You
Max, I'm
understand
not going to keep you much longer. I'm going to get out of here because I know you're hungry, my man. And thank you for coming over yesterday. And thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
Anytime, bro.
I enjoyed the stream. All right. Thank you very much to all of you. Hopefully we'll see you all again.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another stream tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be quite this long. I usually only do a couple hours. But
Cool.
maybe we'll see you for that around the same time. I usually start around 3 o'clock. All right.
Cool.
Much love to you all. Keep that third eye open. Use your intelligence and your intuition. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Max. London and Dino, was it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to leave you in peace now, Max. I love you, my friend. God bless.
Bless you too. Good
Okay.
night.
Is that the end of it? You're going to cut off now?
See you guys in class. All righty.
Love you all. Down the road.